And good evening, folks. Wow, Vic does gaming. How you doing, man? Yeah, it's been a long time. Welcome. And hello, Hypo and Captain. Andy says, Coach, what's this? She should have said you would have rated you. No, it's okay, Andy. No big deal. Yeah, but welcome, folks. How's everybody? Vic says, been feeling quite nostalgic recently. Oh, okay. Hey, this is your home for nostalgia, right? That's good to see you, Vic. How you been, man? How is everything? And, Hypo, thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. So before we get started, I'm going to throw a couple shout-outs. One to our friend Hypo Junkie, who has been all up in Elden Ring the last feels like almost a month or so now. And also, I just left Captain Andy B's stream. He was doing marbles. And I'm basically the person who always brings up the rear. Just about always. But, yeah, welcome, guys. No, Andy, I knew it was late. I wasn't sure if you were even going to hang up late, so I didn't want to necessarily, make you feel like you had to raid me or be here or anything else. So, Hypo says, good to see you. Thanks for the shout out. No problem, Hypo. How's everybody's evening going? How was everybody's week? Hope everybody had a good week. You know what? While we're at it real quick, I did see, Andy, while I was hanging out on your stream, I saw that I got a follow from Dart, who won tonight's Grand Prix, or the last Grand Prix tonight anyway. So throw that up there real quick. Dart's Noob, thank you for the follow. And hopefully he'll catch us sometime in the future. It's cool. I'll be up for a while. Just wanted to chill before bed. Okay, cool. All right, well, welcome, folks. Yeah, we had a good week in the streaming last week. Vic says, you're doing good. Good to hear that, Vic. How are you? How about you? Doing good, Vic. Doing a lot better. I had stopped streaming for a while last year due to health issues, but long story short, doing better. Doing well, and, working my way back into streaming. I haven't really been keeping a regular schedule so far this calendar year, Vic. But, last weekend, we kind of streamed back to my normal schedule. I streamed all weekend. And hello, Hannah. Welcome, Hannah. I streamed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday last week. So again, still not committing to my regular schedule, even my old schedule necessarily. But we're here tonight. So welcome, folks. All right, so what we are doing tonight, in fact, if we can get this started up, is I started last month streaming Police Simulator Patrol Officers. And we had a big release, a big major patch this week for Police Simulator. So we're going to jump in and take a look. And hello, Color! Welcome aboard, Color! And oh my god, hello, Silk! Silk, thank you for the resub. Drive-by resub. Thank you, Silk. Silk, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do a drive-by. You have reserved parking anytime. And Vic says, it's always been hard to catch a stream because of our time zones. Yes. Yep. But Vic, for some reason I always seem to catch the UK night owls. Miss Lovely Hannah's from the UK. Captain Andy B's from the UK. Silk is in the Netherlands. Good morning, good evening to you too, Silk. Great to see you. Color says, I'm on a break, so I should be back later because I get off soon. Oh, okay, Color. So you're dropping in from work. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're just getting started. I've just turned on the channel 5 minutes ago, so I'll be here for a while, caller. Have a good night at work. I'll see you when you get back. UK gang, yeah. Yeah, Vic, I always get a lot of, for whatever reason, a lot of love from the UK folks. I mean, I don't know why, especially like you said with the time zone difference, you know. But I always get a lot of viewers from the UK. So, like I said, I guess I get the night owls. So, pretty nice. That's because you're awesome and we love you all. Thank you, Andy. I love you too, man.
Are you still there?
Caller's going to alert. Thanks, caller. See you when you get back. Hannah says yes. Oh, you guys are too good to me. Too good to me. Especially considering my stream schedule's been so irregular last several months. So, Vic says we are also a no sleep gang. Yeah, but welcome back, Vic. I haven't seen you in a long time, but again, like I said, I haven't really been streaming in a long time until the last month or so. So I'm working my way back into it. So good to see you. Good to have you back. All right, folks. Yeah, so we ended up. I did stream Police Simulator for the first time in March, and this is my first stream of it in about 6 weeks. So the reason I decided to do it tonight is because of this. We got the Holding Cells update came out Tuesday, it looks like. And now we actually have legitimate holding cells in the jails. And we can transport our suspects in our squad car and lock them up ourselves. Which kind of, we looked at a little bit like that. I think, Andy, if you remember, when we were playing, I was streaming LSPDFR, the GTA police mod, 2 weekends ago. And I was showing how that works in LSPDFR. And we finally have that in Police Simulator. So more good additions from that. You do remember that? Okay. Vic says, help. You forgot the commands. Try bot commands, Vic. Let me do that for you. There you go. There is a commands, but that commands is a general list of built-in commands for WiseBot. Custom commands are bot commands for me. Yep, no problem. Hypo says, my week felt long, but it was good. How was your week? Able to get more sleep? Yeah, Hypo, had a good week. It is, I think spring has finally sprung here because it was hot this week, Hypo. We were pushing 80 degrees yesterday, in fact. I was on the verge of turning on the air conditioning. I had the windows open for most of the day, you know, airing out the house, which was really nice. But by the time I thought about doing that, we actually had a storm roll through late in the day, so I ended up closing all the windows again. But yeah, it's finally getting warm here. I broke out shorts for the first time yesterday. So yeah, warming up. Soak says, getting enough sleep, still putting the early mornings in a bit too much. Oh, okay. Pushing the early mornings much. Okay. Yeah, good to see you, Soak. I hope you're feeling good otherwise. Thanks again for the resub. Really appreciate that. All right. Let's see. So, yeah, like I said, so we got the Holding Cells update with Police Simulator now. And in addition to that, what they did was they added mod support finally. So 2 weekends in a row, I've been streaming games that have just recently added mod support. So this week, Police Simulator's adding mod support. And last week, I streamed Bus Sim 21. And Bus Sim 21 just added mod support a couple weeks ago. So that's one thing I streamed that on Sunday. That's one thing I meant to do, but I didn't get around to during our stream, was bringing up the mods marketplace for Bus Simulator to take a look at it. It's not much content in it yet, but it's, you know, it's new and it's still growing. Uh-oh, Rip Vic. He lost the first roulette. Also, Vic, you do have this command if you want to refresh your memory on all the other chatbot games we have. Oh, Andy, before I forget, what is the bot that you said you're looking at? Is it Phantom Bot? Is that the right one? You're looking at switching to Phantom Bot? Because I wanna take a look at that myself. I mean, I've been using WiseBot since I started streaming, but I've had a mind to look into some other bots. Yes? Okay, thank you. Let me jot that down on my notes real quick while I'm thinking about it. Because the other thing I had been thinking about doing for a long time, really, is coding my own chatbot. I have the API for Twitch and how to do that, but it's always been a matter of time for me. But I might have some time to actually look into that a little bit more seriously. But it's also a lot of work, probably. It's probably not a ton of work, but it is a little bit of work to code your own chatbot. But I do want to look at some other bots because I haven't really looked at it in a long time. Okay. All right, let me make a note of that. All right, thanks. All right. And let's see, did I miss anybody else dropping in the chat? Silk. Always good to see you. And Hypo, okay. All right, folks. So let me see. So they added holding cells. They added modding. I haven't even had a chance to look at the mod marketplace yet. I don't even know where to look at. I'd have to look that up. In addition to that, I did a lot of what they call quality of life features. Fine and ticket after handcuffing. Check the ID after handcuffing. So a couple things you can do after handcuffing people. Accident reports to people after you've arrested them. Oh, tow trucks and your transport vans now have emergency light bars. So that's kind of cool. So your ring menus show sub menus. Okay. Volume slider has been added for the ELS. ELS is basically your emergency lighting system. They call it, they have the same name in LSPDFR. Which is good, because I do think that the siren is kind of loud in this game, so it'd probably be good to come in and turn it down a little bit. Silk says, good to see everyone, but I'm going to sneak off to bed. Hubby wants to spend Saturday playing Diablo 3. New season, sleep required. Nice, Silk! Thanks for dropping in, Silk. I really appreciate you, dropping in for a few. Hope you sleep well, and hope you and hubby have a great day of Diablo on Saturday. Thanks again. And before you go, Silk, because Vic does gaming, is reminding me all the commands that I have in my list that I never use, it seems like. Good night, Silk. All right, let's see. Matter of fact, on that note, because Vic, I haven't seen you in such a long time, I'll throw you one of our social commands also.
What's that? What's
All right, hope it doesn't give you nightmares, Vic. You remember that command in particular? Yeah. All right, let's see what else. ELS volume they've added. They gave us a save game menu now. Okay, and AI spawn behavior improved. Dozens of bug fixes, and then full patch notes they have here. All right, now if anybody kind of wants to, and you know what, I've been in the habit of making patch note commands for all the games that I stream. But I haven't made one for this game. I probably have to do that off stream. But if anybody is interested, I'll just drop the notes in chat. All right, but yeah, I mean, even though this game's been in early access about a year now, they have not been idle with this game. I'm pretty happy with the amount of features that they've been adding to the game. And also, I don't know if you guys have seen, they have a new YouTube channel now called On Patrol. And they basically, I don't know how often they're going to do it, maybe like, monthly or something, but it's basically a sit down with the devs where they're talking about all the different features they have in the game and the development process and, answer questions from the community and things like that. They had their first episode released, I think, just last weekend. So I was able to actually catch that for the first time yesterday. If anybody's kind of interested in stuff like that, check that out on YouTube. It's on the publisher's website. I think, the publisher's channel, the Astragon. I think it's on their channel. And it's called On Patrol. So it's kind of interesting. All right, so in the meantime, we're going to jump back in with our buddy Noah Jones. They still don't have it where you can customize your characters yet. Excuse me. So you have basically still 4 male and 4 female characters predefined you can choose from. So I think if we ever do get to the point where we're kind of getting close to a full release rather than early access, I'll probably reset my character. And, hopefully by then we'll be able to put in custom characters like I have in LSPDFR. All right, so according to this, I've done 16 weeks worth of duties since the last time we played this. I'm trying to think, was my last time I played this, was our last stream of it, maybe? I don't think I played this since I streamed it in March. Trying to think. I don't think so anyway, but yeah. But in any case, so a lot of new features, so we'll jump in and see what we can get into here. So let me see, we've got downtown. Oh, that's kind of loud. You know what? No, I don't want to quit, but I do want to change the audio options. All right, tell you what. Maybe if I pick a duty, we can get into the audio option. Get the options back after that. All right. I think we're starting a downtown area. I haven't done downtown in a while. All right. Even though I've unlocked all the unlockables so far in downtown, I like working in downtown so far. So let's go there. All right. New unlock. You can now escort criminals to the precinct and place them in custody. Okay. That's what we just read in the release notes. All right. All right. Hopefully, at some point in the not too distant future, maybe I can convince Andy or Hannah or somebody else to play this with me in co-op. I still haven't tried co-op. Seems like a great co-op game, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. All right. So let's see. Have 2 elevated crime districts. One up here in Baytown, one in Callahan, the financial district. These are both night shifts. This one is, you'll do one night for sure? Okay, Andy. Yep, I mean, I am looking forward to trying the co-op. I've only seen a couple people stream it in co-op. It looks like a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to trying it. All right, so these are 2 night patrols. One a motor patrol, one is a foot patrol. Let's do the motor patrol, I think. All right. Oh, they give you a duration estimate now, 35 minutes. Okay. And you know what? They never gave you this pop-up before. When you pick your duty, it's telling you a little bit more about the neighborhood, I guess. Okay. Let's take it. Alright, so our objective for tonight is to... Whoa, a little lag there. Is to just do police presence in Baytown or Callahan. Wow. A little laggy. Alright, before I go any further, let me check the settings real quick. Alright, so now we have the volume slider for the siren. It is defaulting to 80% though. Okay. Well, let's just leave it and see what it is once we use it. And you know, let me check the video settings real quick. All right, my settings are currently at ultra. I might have to turn it down a notch. Seems to be getting some lag. All right, let me not change anything right now. But before we go out on foot, here's our holding cells. Oh, we got somebody in one already. Boy, she doesn't look comfortable at all. Sitting on the floor. It's her choice. This guy's talking to the wall. Okay. He looks like he's meditating. And we got a couple of them empty. All right. All right, so we'll be back. We'll try those out ourselves. Alright, so at trace of all three vehicles, I have them unlocked. Vic says, to be honest, I would do the same in a prison, but sit on the floor, you mean? Now, I normally drive the Cruiser. I think that's the only thing I drove the last time we streamed. No, I drove the Charger a little bit. Well, technically, they call this the Panther Z. This is based on the Dodge Charger. They call this the Cruiser. It's based on a Ford Crown Vic. The SUV, I don't know what it's based on, but they call this the Gladiator. I think we'll take this for a change, because that's something we didn't take last time. I know in the past I had stopped taking it, because I don't like the way it handles. You would do the same in the prison, talk to the wall, says Vic. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Wait, where's my lights? How do I turn on my lights?
Assistance required. Is an officer available?
Robbery crime scene? Sure, I'll take it. Let's kick it right off. You can pull over cars. I know that. Hey, did they reset the tutorial? I know how to do that. Wait a minute. That's taking me out of my way. Hang on, where is the crime scene? GPS is not doing me any favors right now. It's to the south. Alright, we'll go this way. This is west, actually, isn't it? Does it have car chases? Not yet, Dave. Not yet. This is Police Simulator still in early access, so they haven't really built in high-speed car chases yet. But I'm sure it'll be coming. The only chases so far are still on foot. You get some foot chases. So this is crime scene, I think, up this way. Looks good, yeah. It's not bad. It's been in early access for about a year now. But it's, you know, it's coming along.
I've arrived at the robbery scene. I'll take care of it.
Alright, so I just got a call out for a robbery crime scene. Where is the scene?
Good to see you again,
Here.
officer.
Alright, so we'll talk to some witnesses.
Can you describe what you saw?
Yes, officer. I even know the person.
You can leave now. Have a great day.
So Mohawks
I'll
are
arrive
new.
at the location.
Look
and
at
we'll
her
start looking for the
hairstyle.
suspect.
Keep your eyes
Jeez.
open.
Let me know what you saw.
I still remember the hair color, officer.
Alright, so we have an ID on the suspect.
All right, you're free to
And
go.
it sounds like he's going to tell
Enjoy
us
your
what
day.
hair color, but we can kind of see from his ID photo. Alright, so he robbed this place, Andre's Bakery. Hang on a second. So, how do I... There we go. Flashlight. Ma'am, do you have any, No, she's not a witness. Okay. I don't think we have any more witnesses that I can see. Alright, so we have a suspect who should still be somewhere in the area, according to this. How you doing, Dave? Hope you're feeling better. Alright, so we're looking for his ID is Yadvik Briem. Unfortunately, we don't have any description on his clothing or anything. I think that's a male. Him. Sure, that's not him. Doesn't look like it. Check the search area again. Alright, I'm kind of to the eastern perimeter. Let's go the other way. Should be around here somewhere. You know what? Let's check over here.
Excuse me, officer. I need your help, please.
I'm kind of busy, but let's see what he wants.
Hey, officer. I need to buy croissants from Andre's Bakery. Do you know where it is?
Yeah, dude, it's right behind me.
Yeah, I know that place. Let me mark the location.
Unfortunately, it just got robbed. You might be out of luck, homie. Vic says this is like an intense movie trying to find a suspect. Yeah.
I'm very grateful, officer.
Yep, right there, dude. All you had to do was open your eyes. All right. So let me see. Let's take a look around this way. Should be around here somewhere, but I don't see him.
Hey there, officer.
Hey there.
You sure that's not him? Alright, I don't know. Hannah says calling in the night, Officer Kojo. Okay, Hannah. Have a good stream. Thank you, Hannah. Appreciate you dropping by.
currently busy with another
Is he on
issue.
the bench by your car? Nah, just check that guy. It doesn't appear to be him. Unless there's another bench. Alright, let's check the map again. Am I in the right area? I am. Maybe we can go...
We've got new information. We've updated your map with the potential area where the suspect can be found.
Alright, so he's a little bit more to the south. Let's try there. This is north. That's... which way? That's south. You're a ghost. Cars can go right through you, yeah. Yeah, when they first... That could be him.
You're being detained because you fit the description.
Ah, well, this must be a mistake.
I need to see your ID, please.
Here you go, officer.
Alright, looks like him. That's the name.
There is an emergency. Urgent response
ID
required.
confirmed.
Officer
Warrant
available?
confirmed. Alright, that's him.
You're being arrested for having an open warrant.
Please, don't do
This
that.
is Patrol 4561. I'll look after the accident.
Well done, officer. This could have become a serious situation, but you handled it well.
Oh, wow. Dispatch compliments you now. Now that's new. Escort arrestees yourself. Oh, that's right. I can take them to jail. Oh, we might as well try that ourselves then. If you're close to your police car or precinct, you now have the option to escort an arrestee yourself after you've handcuffed a criminal. Select escort arrestee instead of calling for the transport. If you're close to a precinct, you can escort them directly to the cell. Otherwise, escort to your patrol car, then transport to precinct. Got it. You can only escort 2 arrestees at a time. All others can still be transported by the transport van. Okay, got it. But first, we got to pat him down just to be safe. Alright, so he's got a stolen watch, pocket ball, and a pocket book. Okay. I don't know how we know the watch is stolen.
Please cooperate. I'm taking you to the police station.
Okay.
Any officers available? We need assistance.
I'm taking care of another issue at the moment.
Alright, so we do the perp walk now, Andy. Just like in LSPDFR. Oh, but Vic, to your point, you said car went right through me like I'm a ghost. It used to be when this game first came out, and again, this is still in early access, but when it first came out, roughly a year ago, if you got hit by a car in the street, basically you got severely injured and your shift would be over. And, you know, which is realistic. All right, let's put him in the back seat.
Get into the car, please.
But a lot of people didn't like that. So it wasn't very popular. So the dev took it out. They made it so that if you get hit by a car while you're on duty, the car just pretty much phases right through you. All right, so let's see. Is this a police station? First of all, what police station did we come from? I think we came from this one, but it looks like there's a There's a, let me see, I gotta set a waypoint again. A. All right. Sorry, I kind of forgot the point I was trying to make. But in any case, yeah, now you can, you know, you survive getting hit by cars. But yeah, people didn't like having their shift interrupted like that. So even though it's more realistic, they took it out. People like being on shift, yeah. Oh, I know. Idiot. I know what I started to say. Dude, don't you see me with my emergency lights on? Good boy. Alright. Seems like the traffic AI is a little bit worse than it was before the update. What did I start to say? Oh, I think there's an option though, where you can still turn it on and make it more realistic, but
Time to go to the sale.
I don't know. I think it's better if you get the option rather than, you know, you ending up in the hospital every shift just because you were, you know, doing your job in traffic, right? Okay, so this is the flip side. I don't know if you guys can see that. We're getting a...
I'm currently busy.
We're getting a prompt where you can also be asked to transport other people's suspects. Alright, so we got a guy talking to the wall there and there. And that guy's also talking to the wall and there. That guy's talking to the wall. Wow, full house tonight. Let's put him in this one.
Stay here until further notice.
Do I get my cuffs back? Cause okay, yeah. All right, they made it so I uncuff him as an animation. And there it is. So we just made our first arrest. I mean, not our first arrest, but our first transport. Time for him to talk to the wall. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's how it works.
Emergency. Who's available?
I'm on my way.
I'll take it. Alright, so, yeah, that's a mechanic that we had in the LSPDFR mod for a long time. Oh, nobody saw that, I hope. Alright, so where's our accident? This way. Can I go that way? Come on, don't y'all see lights and sirens? Come on here. I missed my turn, didn't I? Oh, Alright, they still got some work to do on the traffic AI. They still don't respond to emergency lights and sirens very well. That guy's smoking like a chimney. If I had time, I would pull him over, rather. Alright, there's our accident. Alright, let's block traffic this way. And we'll handle it. So this is a major accident, they're terming it. Alright, so we're going to grab some flares out of the trunk. I don't want to do that. Where's my flares? Alright, so I see a new bug right away. The bug is telling me, please return. Prompt keeps telling me, please return to police presence, but I'm handling the case you gave me. Stop bothering me. And what it's telling me is they want me to return to one of the high crime areas. But you just assigned me a case out of that area, so the game probably shouldn't be bothering me about that. Alright, I also don't like that they only give you 4 road flares at a time. You need at least, from what I've seen, 6 to 8 to actually finish your... Hang on a second, that didn't work. To finish closing the perimeter off. Oh, shit, we got a body in the street.
I have an injured person requesting an ambulance.
My bad, I should have checked for bodies immediately when I arrived on the scene. That was completely my bad.
All right, what have we got here?
Alright, normally by now the perimeter would be closed. I don't know why it's still not... It's supposed to turn green once you've sealed off the perimeter. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. There we go. Alright, that's taking a while. Alright, let's talk to our participants.
I might have been driving too fast. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Vic says, in real life, I wish people would stop walking if they heard that at least. At least I would, yeah. Yeah, it's still a little bit,
Let me have
janky.
a look at your ID and insurance card.
How that works.
Sure. Here you go, officer.
Alright, Timothy David. Alright, current driver's license. Looks valid. And, he's got expired insurance, though. Alright, 4-door car. 0 Paul. John. Alright. Let's see how it is. Let's check his record real quick. Expired registration, no insurance. Okay. And I smell alcohol in his breath. Okay. I'll tell you what. Real quick, let's give him a DUI test.
All right. Let me just check to see if you're under the influence of alcohol.
He's just over the legal limit, .081. The limit is .080. Let's test him for drug
I'll
use
just
also.
need to take a sample to determine if you're under the influence of any illicit substances.
And he is positive for methamphetamines, really? Yeah, alright, so he's drunk and stoned. Alright, so first let me give him some violations. He does not have... He has an expired license plate.
You're being charged and ticketed between $50 and $250 for driving a
And he
car
hit somebody
with an
with his
expired
car.
license plate.
Drunk. This guy's going to jail tonight, no
So
question.
much money for such a small infraction.
Small infraction. Dude, you ran somebody over in the street. And he's not carrying insurance.
I'm charging you for not having valid insurance.
So that guy laying in the street is
Why
out of
does it
luck.
cost so much?
Nobody did small infraction, right, Vic? Alright, now normally what I would do until this releases, I would wait until I finished all my interviews before I handcuffed and gave people their accident reports. But with this release, they modified it so that I can do all that in any order. So I'm going to cuff this guy right now because we already know he's DUI.
The reason why you're under arrest is because you were drinking and driving. Please cooperate.
And we'll come back afterwards. We should be able to later then give
Oh,
him
please don't do that.
his accident report and anything else we want to do after that. All right, so he should walk to the sidewalk. Meantime, let's talk to the other witnesses.
I was in a real hurry and I drove too fast. My apologies, officer.
All right, so both of these guys admitted to speeding, basically.
Let me have a look at your license and registration, please.
Okay, officer. There you go.
Alright, Zhu Su is his name. Except it's not. This ID is for a female. This guy is clearly male. What's the command for the balance? It is Mojo. Vic, check your whispers though. The amount should show up in your whispers. It doesn't show up in chat anymore. Alright, let's see. So this is either a fake or a stolen ID. And then Zhu Su, whether this is him or not, has current insurance. The license plate for the vehicle is a pickup truck. The plate is 5 Adam Victor 628. And we'll double check the car to see if this is the car he's actually driving. Hello, Spud! Just FYI, Kojo, those 417 witnesses about my bank robbery are all liars. Welcome, Spud. Let's check his computer record. Okay, so Zhu Su, this is what Zhu Su really looks like. Clearly, Asian female. He is not Zhu Su, and Zhu Su has registered to her a van. Partial plate 9, Union Paul. Alright, so that vehicle does not have insurance. Alright, so this guy gave us a stolen ID. Because Zhu Su is a real person, but the person standing in front of us is not Zhu Su. Alright, so whoever this guy is...
Okay, let's just check if
let's
you're
do his
under the influence
breathalyzer
of
also.
alcohol.
How you doing tonight, Spud? Alright, he is .010. He's below the legal limit. And we'll check him for drugs.
I just need to collect a sample
Drug
to see if
usage.
you're under the influence of any illegal substances.
He is also positive for methamphetamines, just like our first suspect. Okay. Alright, but what we're going to do is we're going to cuff this guy immediately for carrying a fake ID, or stolen ID, really. Although he's also, we could charge him with stolen ID, or we could charge him with DUI for amphetamines, either one. I'm going to say the amphetamines is probably a more harsh or stronger penalty, so I'm going to charge him with that.
I have to arrest you for driving under the influence of narcotics. Please move to the sidewalk.
Good, good. Despite my supervisor being on vacation, I did actually work today. Nice, bud. So really, when your supervisor's on vacation, it's almost like a vacation, right? Alright, so 2 for 2. These guys are going to jail tonight. Let's talk to our third
I'm still recovering from the
victims.
crash. My mind is blank.
Gee, lady, if you're driving with headphones on, maybe you wouldn't get into crashes.
I need to see your ID and proof of insurance, please.
Yes, but it
Sure,
seemed like any
officer.
time
Here
I
you go.
was at work and my boss was off, it was like a vacation. Alright, her name is Yoon Chae Zogby. Well, that's a hell of a name. Current invalid license. She has current insurance for another month for a 4-door car. Partial plate 7 Paul George. Okay. Is this a 4-door car she's driving, or is this a... We'll have to see. Alright, but while we have her
Kindly
here, let's
cooperate
do a
as I collect a sample
DUI
to
test
see
for
if you're
her.
drunk.
Alright, she is well below blood alcohol level. Let's
Please,
do
allow me to collect a sample to see if you're under the influence of any drugs.
narcotics testing. She is also positive for methamphetamines. Gee whiz. All 3 of these people were on meth. Well, it says the night shift. I guess they were out partying. Good lord. Vic says, just play music through your car. My car, Vic? My police car? Alright, for some reason I am not allowed to handcuff her. I don't know why. That's kind of weird. While I'm at it, let's just check her computer record. So 7 Paul George, a 4-door car. We'll check to make sure that is the right car for her. But she also has invalid registration. All right, let's check it now. Actually, her plate's in the street, isn't it? 7 Paul George. This is an SUV, but I guess they count this as a 4-door. Okay. Yeah, that is her car. All right. Because sometimes they're not driving the cars that's registered to them. All right, so I'll give her a ticket for expired license plate.
I have to fine you for having an expired license plate. It will cost between
You meant the
$50
person
and
wearing
$250.
headphones. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha, Vic.
Really? That's so much money.
All right, so for some reason, I cannot handcuff her. So maybe I have a limit to how many suspects I can handcuff at one time. So, for example, if I was playing this with Andy or somebody else as, you know, my partner in co-op, maybe I get 2 sets of handcuffs, and maybe my partner gets 2 sets of handcuffs, so I guess I can't cuff her? All right, so... All right, also, let me, before I do that, let me check the, did that wrong. Where's the computer? The other guy that I was looking at. So, is it this one? Okay, the guy had the fake ID as Zusu. So, is this 9 Union Paul? Let's see what vehicle he was driving. Man, this car doesn't even have, oh, I see. His license plate is actually under the car, but I can't read it. So I can't even tell that's the car he's driving. Alright, so I can't do anything with that. Let me check the other one. That's the front one. Alright, that guy, we already cuffed him for DUI. For, yeah, it's the same guy. Alright, so I can't identify the second car's license plate. Got knocked off in the accident, I guess. Alright, so the only thing I can do now is take pictures of the scene and finish processing our suspects. I got some skid marks there. What is that weird noise? Anybody hear that noise? It's like boom, boom, boom. Almost sounds like UFOs flying overhead. All right. Wow. Yeah, I guess this was a major accident. It's a lot of damage to be photographed. Plus, we had a victim on the ground when we arrived. So yeah, I guess this, if this is not major, I don't know what isn't. What is, rather. All right, I can see the license plate under the car. I just can't quite get a picture of it. All right, but I think that's enough. All right, so let's hand out accident reports.
All right, here's your accident report.
All right, she's going to jail.
A well-documented and exhaustive report.
If I can figure out a way to get her arrested, she's going to jail. I can't cuff her, though. More damage than small infraction, yeah. Vic says I'm now watching on my phone. This is nostalgic. Okay.
What's up, officer?
Ooh. Who you? Alright, so in the meantime, let's get these guys patted down and transported. Maybe after I transport the first 2 guys, I can then arrest the third woman. All right, he's carrying a pocket knife and a matchbook. Nothing illegal. Let me give him his accident
Use your
report.
accident report.
That will be very helpful. Thank you, officer.
He says as I cart him off to jail. Let's get him transported.
I need backup to take a suspect into custody.
Understood. The closest available unit will be dispatched to your location.
All right, so I've never had 3 arrests on the same accident scene before. This is new. All right, give him
Please
his
take your
report.
accident report.
Such a comprehensive report will be very useful. Thank you, officer.
It's not gonna do you any good sitting in a jail cell, son.
I need backup to take a suspect into custody.
Also, I need to search their
Understood.
vehicles
We're
now that
sending the
they're under
closest
arrest. I
transport
didn't
to
do
your
that.
location.
All right, now that I have them subject to transport, see if I can. I still can't arrest her. Jeez. She's DUI for narcotics. Why can't I arrest her? All right, so here's my partner coming to take away one of the suspects
I'm
first.
parked nearby. I'll be at your location soon.
All right, so while he's doing that, we'll start searching these vehicles real quick.
Your shift is over,
Hi.
officer.
I'm here to take your suspect into custody.
All right, so yeah, it looks like they
Please,
reset the
do
tutorials.
not resist
Oh, this
and come
first
with
dude
me to
had a
the patrol
handgun
If I have to.
in the car, sitting right in the front seat too. I'm assuming you only have 2 handcuffs at a time. Yeah, I think you're right. That's my assumption as well. But I think,
Hey, partner, I just parked near you. I'll be at your location soon.
all right, there's a second transport arriving on scene. I think, though, cops, they have zip ties, though, to you know, detain
Okay, partner,
additional people.
I'm here to take the suspect into custody.
All right, damp raisins there. Let's check the back.
Please cooperate and come with me to the patrol car.
At your service, officer.
Also, once, well, I was going to say, and a half ounce of marijuana. Okay. Half ounce is actually legal to carry in this city.
I have a car here that needs towing. Please send a tow truck to my current location.
All right.
Wrecker has already been dispatched to your location.
All right, so both our other 2 suspects are being transported away. And there's a tow truck for the first one. All right, let's search the second car while we're at it real quick. Nothing there. Alright, so that's 1 tow down. Let's finish searching this vehicle. Alright, I can't search the back of that one.
I have a car here that needs
that one
towing.
towed.
Please send a tow truck to my current location.
Let's see if I can do anything with her yet. Now I can handcuff her. Okay. So I have. Oh, it tells me there. I have a count. I have 3 handcuffs. But she was the third person. Why couldn't I do that before? If I have 3 handcuffs, I should have been able to arrest all 3 of them.
You're under arrest for driving under the influence of narcotics. Please move to the sidewalk.
No, don't. Please, officer.
All right. So I guess I got my first 2 sets of handcuffs back when my other 2 got transported. Other 2 suspects. Alright, so we'll search her car also. Oh, she's got a handgun in the front seat too. Man, these people were all bad news, man. Alright, nothing incriminating there. Switchblade in the front seat, that's illegal. Let me see if I can check her cargo area. Yes, I can. So I couldn't check the cargo area in the, and some shoes in the back. Alright. I couldn't check the cargo area in the one guy's pickup. But, you can check the back in the SUV, it looks like. Alright.
I have a vehicle here that needs towing. I need a wrecker at my current location, please.
Tow truck will be at your location as soon as possible.
How you doing, officer?
How you doing, man? Alright, so let's pat her down and prepare her for transport. And it sounds like somebody's getting their wallet snatched down the street, but I'm kind of busy. Alright, nothing incriminating on her. Alright, so we'll put her in our car and we'll take her to the precinct because we're on our way back to the precinct since it's the end of our shift.
Get into the car, please.
Alright, so we're arresting her for DUI narcotics, but I also could have got her for a gun charge, because if I remember correctly, she did not have a gun permit. Yeah, no gun permit for her. Oh, she also has an open warrant. I didn't notice that the first time we, Alright, so she was going to jail anyway, even if she wasn't DUI. She has an open warrant. What about the other two? I didn't notice if they had warrants or not. Well, that's a fake ID. And he did not have an open warrant. Okay. Alright, that's it for our accident scene. And, let's see. Head back to our precinct. Which is here, I believe. Alright. So subtext looks like, I guess I'm reading her rights as we head to jail. So I'm still not a big fan of the SUV police car. But it does seem like it's a little less noisy than it was when it first came out. Or at least when I first started playing it. Alright, turn off my headlights.
I'm taking you to our precinct cell now.
Alright, so we didn't have that many cases on our first shift tonight. We only really had two. We had a crime scene, right, a robbery crime scene. And we had what's all that noise? Somebody needs a muffler. And we had a major accident. Wonder what she's listening to. Yeah. But we had a lot
All
of
right,
arrests.
time to get in.
I mean, only 2 cases, we have 4 arrests. And we got to put 2 of them in the slammer ourselves. Alright. So that's it for our first shift tonight. Yeah, that doesn't look, normal. Alright, so we got a little glitch there. Okay. That's the end of our shift. Alright, so that is our shift summary. Now basically in your shift summary you get 2 types of ratings. You get shift points, which is like, you know, XP, basically, experience points. And you get conduct points, which determines whether or not you enforce the law cleanly. And if you do something that's, you know, against procedure, or you violate someone's civil rights, things like that, then you get negative conduct points. So on this one, conduct points are all 0, so our shift was clean. So let's see, what do we have here? We did witness interviews for the crime scene. We gave 1 civilian directions to, I think they were looking for a bakery, right? At Audrey's Bakery. And then we this is the guy who had the open warrant. So we got 275 total points for that. Did everything clean by the book. And then processed the accident. We got a lot of XP for that. It's a lot of steps to clearing an accident, especially a major accident like that, including the ambulance request, which I was a little slow reacting to the fact that we had a body on the crime scene the minute we arrived at the accident. That's the very first thing I should look for when I'm arriving at the accident. Is anybody injured and do they need help? And I was a little slow doing that, so bad on me. But everything else pretty clean. Everything worked out. Doing good there. All right, good. And then let's see what else. The searches were all good. And the tow trucks were good. All right, good. All right, so that's our first shift of the week. Spud says, which button to reform the public school so all these people could have made different choices? Yeah. Well, you know, Spud, and also while I'm thinking about it, they just introduced mod support with this release. This game release, this version just came out Tuesday, and there is now third-party mod support built into the game, so you can always write a mod for that. So a real quick shout out for our friend Spud Muffin. Spud, did you stream today? I don't think I saw you live today. Recently playing Dicey Dungeons. How was that? All right, so we did our shift in first one in Baytown, but crime stats did not go down in Baytown. They did go down in Callahan, though. So we were able to lower stats in Callahan. But it looks like they're going up in Conway also. And hello, Arthur! Welcome, Arthur. How you doing? So also, Vic and everybody else who didn't catch me streaming this last time, our good friend Arthur Burrows is the reason that we're streaming this, because he gifted this to me a couple months ago. So GG, and thanks to our friend Arthur. How you doing tonight, Arthur? Both hands where we can see them, Arthur. No sudden moves either, right, Spud? Spud also said Dicey Dungeons is a little bit random. Oh, okay. Was that a new game for you this week, Spud?
with it.
Thanks, Vic. Got a wild Atha sighting. Welcome, Atha. Yeah, and tell Story I said hi if she's within earshot. Atha says, doing good. How are you? Doing good, Vic. I mean, Atha, sorry. Yeah, we just did our first shift of the night. We got a brand new release this week, Atha, where we now can escort our prisoners to jail ourselves and lock them up. Not only within earshot, I am here. Why did I ever doubt? Hello, Story, and welcome. Good evening. Story, thank you for the resub. And, what is it, 17 months now? Oh, my God. Thank you, Story. Nice, lock everyone up. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? We had, I just did our first shift of tonight's stream. We had only 2 cases. We had a robbery crime scene, and we had a major accident. And I ended up with 4 arrests. And two of them we had the privilege of doing a perp walk ourselves. Took them into jail ourselves, which is nice. Which is, just like when we were doing the LSPDFR GTA mod stream a couple weekends ago. And, same feature. You can basically lock them up, cuff them rather, throw them in the back of your vehicle, drive them to the jail, and lock them up yourself. So we locked up 2 people tonight. And hopefully no explosions this time. No, not tonight. Yeah, not tonight. You know what? I still look at that clip myself and just roll laughing. I mean, that still totally cracks me up. Yeah, that has got to be probably the best clip I've ever had in my channel. So yeah, thank you, Story. I really appreciate you editing that clip. That clip was the pinnacle of my clipping career, says Story, no doubt. It's Atha says my favorite clip of all time. Yeah, mine too, I think. Vic redeemed stretch. Oh, okay, thanks, Vic. Actually, that's a new reward. Before we grab our next shift, we're going to do that. So I'm going to take a very quick stretch, guys. Probably just a few seconds. I'll be right back. All right. Thanks, Vic. That felt really good. I appreciate that. Thank you. That was very well timed. Because when I first started streaming, I realized that I don't take enough breaks when I stream. It's just a bad habit. So I was just trying to think of some more, channel point rewards I could put in. I don't really spend a lot of time building channel point rewards, but I think I'm going to try to do that more in the future. So thank you, Vic. Let's see, what else did I miss? Story says, how are you all? Doing good, Story. Had a good week. How about you guys? It's getting hot here. We hit nearly 80 degrees yesterday, so I think we're finally sprung into spring here. Story also said, I'm just shutting down the work computer, thank heavens. Oh, GG, Story. Hope you guys had a good week. It's like hydrate, yeah. Let's see. Spud says, we need explosions to let the public know we're working on something. Yeah. To get their attention, right? Otherwise, they'd ignore you, I'm sure. Etha says, that's the LAPD motto, I think. And to create problems for us to fix and work on, right? Well, GG, Story, glad you get to log off of work. Story, were you, not too long ago. Were you trying to hire somebody? And if so, how'd that go? Also, you know what? Before I forget, before we start our next shift, and we're going to do that momentarily. You hired 2 people. Oh, GG story. Are you happy with your hires so far? I mean, hiring 1 person is hard enough, let alone 2. Wow. Story says the first person finished her 2nd week today. Nice. And the next one starts Monday. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Hope everything really works out well there. But before I forget, what I started to say was, since you guys were talking about the LAPD stream, LSPDFR stream we did a couple weeks ago, pseudo LAPD, you and Atha, Story, recommended Bosch to me on Amazon Prime Video. And before I forget, I want to say Bosch is my jam, and I'm totally enjoying it. I'm coming down the home stretch on the first season, and I mean, I love my cop shows anyway. And it's totally my jam. You guys picked well, so thank you very much. I love Bosch so far. Nice, yeah. So good. It's good and gets better. Yeah, it's really good. I'm really enjoying the hell out of it. Totally in my wheelhouse. I mean, I love a good cop show. I love a good mystery. I even love the theme. You know, the theme, every time that theme comes on, I just can't help but bop, you know? I mean, it's totally in my wheelhouse. So far, I love Bosch. And it's 7 seasons for me to catch up on, so I'm looking forward to working my way through it. Story says we have a map of LA on our kitchen wall to map out all the Bosch landmarks we want to visit. Okay, nice. Come visit and we'll do the Bosch LA tour. Cool. I'll take you up on that one day. All the jazz shout-outs are great, yeah. Sorry, Spud said, have the 2 recruits been trained how to think in unison yet? Yeah. Well, they're binaries, right? They're a paired set she hired, I'm sure, you know. Sorry. Star Trek deep cut, you guys might not even know what I'm talking about. All right. People have found his house, the Bosch house, really? Okay. Yeah, because I think that's where that first came from. I was showing off one of the beach house mods that I had put in the game. And I think after you or Story 1, you guys called it the Bosch house. And I had no idea what you were talking about. And I think that's where the recommendation came from. It's totally normal and non-invasive of us to go drive by and see it. Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys while it was on my mind. All right, so in the meantime, let me grab another shift. So let me see. We have 2 elevated crime areas here. We had the financial sector was elevated, but we got it down just by processing the last couple cases. You're joking? You think people actually live there? No, I figured people actually live there. I don't doubt it. I mean, I'm sure there's not much empty real estate in upscale LA, right? All right. I think I'm going to take this tour in Conway. It's a foot patrol and it's daytime. So I think we'll take that one. So duration estimate is 25 minutes. And this is nice now. When you click an area to pick your tour of duty for that shift, it gives you a summary of the area now. So this is where the big baseball stadium is. The team is called the Brighton Green Hats. So this is Brighton's favorite sport, apparently. Team supposedly founded in 1903. Okay. By Conway Callahan. Oh, this district is called Conway. I get it now. Story says, after I get my 3rd and final report in the beginning of May, synchronized blinking is going into the work agreement. Story knows she knows my deep cut then, apparently. Okay. Yeah, the binaries from Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1? I think it's Season 1. I even know episode name because I'm such a Star Trek geek. 11001001. So, yeah. So. All right. Let's take this one. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate the Bosch recommendation. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've never seen Titus Welliver in anything.
Excuse me, officer. Can you help me, please?
Wow, I didn't even get out the front door. She needs help. What do you need, lady?
Excuse me, officer. Could you show me where the nearest police precinct is on the map, please?
Lady, you're standing in the police precinct.
Of course. Let me direct you to the precinct.
Okay. She needs to go. She needs to go right to jail. She's obviously drunk. She doesn't know where. She doesn't even know she's standing in the police precinct. Lady, you're here. Open your eyes. Oh my God.
I appreciate it, officer.
Yeah, I'm not sure you do. But, guess it's going off. No, actually, I think it glitched. Story?
We require an
You put it
officer
in
to
right.
handle
It's
traffic. Can you take
exclamation
care of
point cut blue.
I'm currently dealing with something else.
Yeah, like I started to say, I've never seen Titus Welliver in anything. I'd seen his, or I didn't know his name. I think is really what it is. I've seen his face, but I didn't know him by name, and I've never seen him starring in anything till this. So yeah, so far so good. I'm kind of enjoying it. He had a small role in The Mandalorian, and he's in Deadwood. Okay. It was the Book of Boba Fett, actually. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so let me just check. Let's see real quick. So, any enforcement in this area, we're in the red zone. All right, we're fine. All right, so let's see. Today is Tuesday of our shift calendar. It's 4:30 p.m. now. Oh, we took an evening shift. I thought it was a day shift. I read that wrong. Okay, what's going on here? That guy's running. What's he running for? I don't know, but he's guilty of something.
Hands in the air!
So we got our first foot chase of the night.
Freeze!
Make sure I got my taser and not my pistol. Alright, we got her. Actually, before I do that, what are we chasing her for? Oh, she was doing a drug deal. I wasn't paying attention, apparently.
The reason why you're under arrest is because you're selling narcotics.
Bosch in space.
Please, don't do that.
We have a situation that needs to be taken care of. Is anyone available?
I'm taking care of another issue at the moment.
Alright, let's pat her down. You know what? I wasn't even paying attention to her. If she wouldn't have took off running, I wouldn't even have noticed. I mean, I was barely just... She's got 2.5 ounces of marijuana and a bag of white powder. Wow. Wow, she got plenty of inventory, huh? Let me get her
I'd
ID
like to
first.
see your ID, please.
So we know who we're arresting here.
officer.
Guess we gotta pick that out of her back pocket herself. Rosa Kapoor. Alright. So she's got a record here. Her license is expired, but she's just medical white powder.
There's a situation that needs taking care of. Anybody available?
Yeah, somebody's available, but not me. Her license is expired, but I don't care because she's not driving. She's got previous convictions for insurance fraud, cyberbullying, and money laundering.
This is Patrol 4561 taking care of the accident.
Wow, so loud. It says I smell cannabis, but alright, so we've already arrested her for selling drugs. I don't have an escort option, so I guess I can only call
I
for a
need some
transport.
backup here. to take a suspect into custody.
How in the world did she get a conviction for cyberbullying? How do you get convicted of cyberbullying? Still don't understand yet.
I'm afraid I won't make it in time. Hi there.
This lady here is having some difficulty. Hopefully she'll figure it out. I mean, I think it's the kind of thing, what I would imagine is your parents would have to, you know, have to really press somebody to do something about the case, I would imagine. Otherwise, I'm not sure that's even something police would even bother with, I would imagine. As far as cyberbullying, I mean.
I'll take charge of the suspect, partner.
Where are you? I hear the transport officer arrived, but I don't know where.
Support required. Any officers available?
I'll take that.
You're near the area where the suspect was spotted. Stay alert and keep your eyes open.
Alright, so we got some glitching going on here. Can I do anything else with her? Alright, I've never seen that happen before. Not only that, she's drinking in public.
I'm giving you a $300 ticket for drinking in public.
No wonder she's glitching.
Why does it cost so much?
Please cooperate and come with me to
There's
the
the
police van.
transport officer.
No choice.
Alright, maybe that'll let her reset, get a big fat ticket in her face. Alright, thanks, partner. In the meantime, I'm looking for a suspect. Another suspect. Story said, if I don't know how that happens, I feel like we're being bamboozled. What you mean, how you get convicted cyberbullying? Yeah. Alright, so we're going this way. Here's the big, beautiful baseball stadium. Hopefully they're a good baseball team, because this is a really nice ballpark. At least on the outside it is. I've heard some people, like on the forums and stuff, let's go to a game. Yeah, I'm with you, Arthur. Let's go. I heard some people on the forums for this game and stuff saying that they would like to be able to enter the interior of the stadium. Maybe have game day activities.
Location reached. I'll start searching for the suspect.
So maybe we'll get that. There is a Trello roadmap for this game. I peeked at it a little bit last week, but I didn't see if there were any votes against that suggestion. And hello, Patrick. Patrick D. in the hizzy. Story says, in my experience, that's the last thing law enforcement cares about. Yeah. That's why I said I would imagine it would only be a conviction if the parents, you know, somebody's parents really made a big deal about it. And I would imagine they'd be, you know, well-connected parents, you know. Like, somebody's dad is a state senator or something. I mean, I don't know. How you doing tonight, Patrick? Vic says the AI is intelligent. Yeah, I'm not sure it's human intelligence. But, yeah. They still got some work to do with the AI. But, you know, like I said, still in early access. It's coming along. That could be her, right there. We got lucky this time.
I've detained you because
took a little bit longer to find the other suspect earlier.
Computer.
What?
I'd like to see your ID, please.
Alright, so we're looking for Ari Vargas. She's known to be armed, though. I gotta be careful here. I should have cuffed her immediately. Now that I can cuff her first. Before this release, you couldn't cuff them first without, like, forfeiting your opportunity to do other things. Alright, Ari Vargas matches the computer record. Identity matched, warrant confirmed. Alright, that's her. Previous conviction for identity theft. And a couple traffic citations. Okay. Alright, that's her.
I have to arrest you for having an open warrant.
What?
Let's see, Spud said, someone on Reddit says I'm a dummy story. Arrest in jail, then please. Who would dare to say such a thing, Spud? Alright, let's pat her down. Not sure what our warrant was for. They don't really tell us that yet. Anyway. Whoa! There's a handgun. Yeah, she sure was armed. I'm glad she didn't snap on me. I knew I should have cuffed her the minute we caught her. You know, detain them in cuffs first, then check the ID and search them. And she's got the snacks. Well, this one just says generic snacks. It used to tell us what the snacks were, right? Candy bar, raisins, cucumbers. Now it just says snacks. I don't know if I like that. And a book of matches. All right. So, let me check something else. Did it say her ID was expired? No, it just said she did not have a gun permit and she had an open warrant. Okay. Snacks. Right. I love to carry around cucumbers, says Atha. Atha with the Freudian slip-on spelling. Maybe they aren't identifiable snacks. Yeah.
I need some backup here to take the suspect into custody.
Understood. We're sending the closest transport to your location.
Whoa! What did I do? I pulled out the radar gun. I was like, did I pull a gun on her by accident?
Hey,
All
partner.
right.
I just parked near you. I'll be at your location soon.
So here's the fancy new light bars they added to the transport vans. They used to not have emergency lights on them.
Directly into custody.
Andy says, BRB, okay, Andy, I didn't even know you were hanging out. Still hanging out. I thought you left with Hannah.
I have no choice.
You have no choice. You lost your choice when you decided to become a criminal. Scumbag.
You're taking too long to reach the scene. We're sending another unit.
I'm ignoring you because I'm busy. Let's see. But I see also that they added, and I didn't notice when we did the night shift last night. I thought I noticed it, but I thought I was imagining it. We now have red and blue lights. So up till now, all the emergency lights used to just be blue, which they have in some cities. Like Chicago, for example, I believe is all just blue emergency lights for police. But now we get red and blue. I did see that on the road map where people have requested that. Hello, Timmy! Good evening, Timmy. How you doing? Andy says, been lurking, sorting paperwork for stream stuff. Okay. Welcome, Timmy. How you feeling tonight? Doing well, thank you. Good, man. Okay. So shout out for our friend Timmy Thumb. I was hanging out on his Minecraft stream a little bit earlier this week. Taxi parking zones.
Hey.
All right, so yeah, they definitely reset my actually before I do that, let me double check the sign. My tutorial mode, which is not necessary. All right, so this is not a ride share or a taxi. Let me double check his record. Her record, rather.
We need support. Who's available?
Find one person, I'll take that one too.
I'll manage it.
We've received new information and have updated your map with a location where the suspect can be found.
But you were parked in a taxi zone. Technically, I think I can have this car towed from a taxi zone, but I'm feeling generous. I'm not going to do it. So let's check our map. Where is the APB out for? So a little bit to our north and east. Yeah, Yeah, good to see you, Timmy. Hope you're having a good evening. I hope your weekend is off to a good start. So we're doing a little police simulator, patrol officers tonight. Only my second stream of it. We did a little bit of this in March.
Location reached. I'll start searching for the suspect.
And I'm doing this tonight because they had a new major release. Is that our guy? That's him. Let's get our stun gun. Stun gun. They had a new major release of this week. Oh, that's weird. So normally when I draw my weapon, I'm going to cuff him immediately.
The reason why you're under arrest is because you have an open warrant.
Normally when I draw my weapon, he gives a verbal warning, but he didn't do that right now. So is your mama. He called me a terrible cop, didn't he? Isn't that what he said? Hold on a second. Hold it. So, for those who did not catch our first police simulator stream, we made a drinking game out of this. So, if you're at home tonight and just kind of enjoying yourself and relaxing, got a nice cold one nearby, anytime you hear certain phrases from the suspects, drink. And I think, yep, you're a terrible cop is on the list right now. So, I don't get why they run, just makes it more suspicious. Exactly, Vic. Alright, so let's pat him down first. Timmy says your character is certainly getting their workout. Running all over the place. Yeah. Oh, and he's got a switchblade, as well as some dice, some candies, some more snacks. Alright. So let's check his ID to make sure he matches.
I'm currently busy with another issue.
The APB that was out. Haresh Long. Alright, identity confirmed, warrant confirmed. Yep, that's him. Sounds angry? Yeah, I bet he is angry. No, I guess they run Vic because they can, they hope they can get away from
here to take a suspect into custody.
Understood. We're sending the closest transport to your location.
But luckily in this game, all the suspects are pretty slow in terms of foot speed. Chases are not much of a challenge. Yet, anyway. Maybe at some point, you know, game store early access, maybe at some point in the future, the foot chases will be a little bit more challenging. Although I did see a guy streaming this the other day. You know, just a random streamer, not somebody I'm familiar with, where the guy took off running and he was visibly faster than most people. It took him a lot to catch that guy, so maybe that's something they're gonna be working in, you know, randomize some of the perp's foot speed as they go along. Maybe they're just unfit. Yeah. Although this guy looks like he's in good shape. I mean, compared to me, anyway, he looks like he's in good shape, so.
I'll take the suspect directly into custody.
I need you to be cooperative and follow me to the patrol car.
At your service, officer.
Man, dude got big feet, too. Look at him.
Hey!
Hi, citizen.
Anyway, I started to make the well-known joke about big feet, but nah, I'm not going there. Alright, so where are we?
We require
Back for a bit. Welcome back, Andy.
Stop. Can you take care of it?
Sure, I'll take it.
I can handle it.
Where is it? It's just up this way? Alright. Alright, so we got about 2 hours left on shift. The last time I got one of these DUI checkpoint callouts, it was on our last stream. It was kind of a dud. Like literally nobody drove through the checkpoint. And I was kind of under the impression maybe that the motorists in game got like, you know, warnings on ways or something, and everybody knew to avoid my block where the checkpoint was. But I've had good results with DUI checkpoints in other, you know, on other shifts, so maybe that was an anomaly, but let's see how this one goes.
I've reached the traffic stop.
Andy said, but not for much longer. Okay, Andy. See if we, okay, we got one here. Whoa, I pulled the gun on him by accident. I didn't mean to do that. Although he tried to run me over, I guess there we go. Wait, how does that work again? Hang on. Ah, I forgot how the sign works. Hang on. That, and there we go. We got him. Oh, we got one. Let's take two. You pull over. And let's take the guy with the creeper van. And we'll get all of them in place. And
please comply with my instructions and cooperate for a routine inspection.
I'm cooperating, officer.
Show me your license and car insurance, please.
all right, maybe this is a makeup
Okay,
for the
I'll-
last DUI I did on
you
the
go.
stream. Checkpoint on the stream. All right, Fred Richardson. Current license. And his insurance is expired. Let's check his computer record. And also invalid registration. Okay. Alright, so we will give him citations immediately for his invalid registration and insurance.
I will now fine you between $50 and $250 for having an expired license plate.
You're ruining my day.
He's driving with headphones on, too. We're going to ruin you a lot harder in a minute, Holmes. And let me see, how does it work? Driver.
I'm issuing you a ticket because you don't have valid insurance.
I didn't expect it to be that expensive.
Alright, now, because he didn't have insurance, technically, I'm inclined to not let him drive. Drink, Vic. I think you got one. Wait a minute. Ruining my day? Yeah. Ruining my day is one of the phrases. So, drink. I think I'll drink. Just water in my case.
I'd like you to leave your car and go to the side.
I wish I could give him a citation for driving with headphones on. I'm pretty sure in the United States that's illegal. Alright, also, let me double check his plate. Make sure that matches the record that we have. Yes, that is the car he's driving. Okay. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to give him DUI tests.
All right. I'm just collecting a sample to check if you've had any alcohol.
And we
while
got
driving.
about 40 minutes left on shift, so we got to get through these relatively quick. Alright, he's barely registering on blood alcohol.
I'm just collecting a sample to see if you used any drugs while driving.
Alright, he's negative on drugs, TNC and amphetamines. Alright, but, because he's, let me see, I don't have any reason to search him, I don't believe. You know what, let me take another look at his record. He's clean otherwise. He even has a gun permit. Okay. Other than the citations, I don't think there's anything else I can give him. We're gonna have his car towed though, because I'm not inclined to let him drive with no insurance.
I have a vehicle here that needs towing.
I'm not going to search his
a
car
record at
because
my
I have no
current location,
probable
please.
cause for a further search.
You're good to go. Drive safe and have
But
a
I
nice
don't want him
day.
driving with no insurance. All right, so he's out of here. Let's deal with the other two vehicles.
Kindly cooperate with the routine check.
How do I cooperate?
Let me have a look at your ID and insurance
Wow,
card.
somebody needs a muffler. That's a lot of noise.
Sure. Here you go, officer.
Takaji Park. current valid driver's license. He's not present me with an insurance card, though. Let's check his computer record. Alright. So his ID is okay, checks out, does not have a gun permit, has a previous... Here's another identity theft conviction.
Your shift is over, officer.
Yes, I know, lady, I know. His car does not have valid registration or insurance. 3 George Tom 063. That says a 2-door car. That is not necessarily the car he's driving. We'll double check that. Oh, it is a 2-door car. Okay. Let me double check his plate. Make sure that is the car. 3 George Tom 063. Yeah, it is expired. All right. So we will. Let me double check that one more time. Registration and insurance violations.
You're being charged and ticketed between $50 and $250 for driving a car with an expired license plate.
So much money for such a small infraction.
Yeah. Hold my water and watch this.
I'm charging you for not having valid insurance.
Why does it cost so much?
Slowly step out of
man.
the car and move to the sidewalk, please.
Why does the lady sound like she's mad at you for being overtime on your shift? I know, right, Vic? Now, that's another complaint people had when this game first released last year in early access. The dispatcher always sounded bitchy. Now, they've toned her down considerably. She used to be a lot more aggressive.
Please cooperate peacefully.
Like she used to tell you, your shift is over. Get back to the precinct now. I mean, she literally would say it just like that, like she was your boss. And she's not your boss. She's just a radio dispatcher. You know?
You'll take a test to see if you're driving under the
And hello,
influence of drugs.
Alrighty, so he's negative on drugs or alcohol. How you doing, ADR? Vic says she should be happy that you're overtime helping the community. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she has standing orders to make sure we do not, blow the overtime budget or something, I guess. Yeah, good point though. So welcome, ADR. How you doing, man? Happy Friday to you. All right, so again, because he didn't have valid insurance like the other guy, I'm inclined to not let him drive his car. I'm going to have his car towed.
I have a vehicle here for towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location?
And dude, you're going to have to hoof it or Uber home.
All clear. You're free to go. Stay safe and have a great day.
But yeah, I mean, technically, I could just cite him or give him a warning and let him drive home. But if you don't have insurance, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be driving. Hey, good to see you, ADR. I think I missed your last stream, or did I? It says you were streaming Train Sim World. Did I drop in on your stream? I don't even remember. Sorry.
You're required to cooperate with the routine check.
Is anything wrong, officer?
Show me your ID and proof of insurance if available.
Hopefully nothing's wrong, dude.
Here you go, officer.
We're driving the creeper van, so we'll see very shortly. All right, Audie Armstrong. That is a current driver's license. Is not. Wait a minute. Audie Armstrong shows as a female. We'll double check. Audie Armstrong does not have, yeah, that's a fake ID. And he didn't provide me with an insurance card. Alright, so we're gonna have him step out.
Please step out of your vehicle and walk to the sidewalk.
In the meantime, let's see if we can what comes back on a plate check for this vehicle. So Paul 6 Paul Frank 309er. Who does that register to? 6 Paul Frank 309er is a van without insurance, registered to Nemzio Bot. And so he is actually Nemzio Bot, but he gave me a fake ID because his ID expired. And Patrick got 500 biddies. Patrick, thank you so much, my man. And Patrick has now crossed the 1K bits badge threshold. Thank you, Patrick. Very much appreciate it, man. Very generous. And hello, Steam. 822 Steam says, hey, how's you? Doing good, Steam. How about you? So Vic, another viewer in chat here from the UK, 822 Steam. So there's your there's your proof that I get all the UK night owls like you, Vic.
On this blessed stream.
And Story with 100 bits. Thank you, Story. Story said, oh yeah, it's payday. May it rain bits upon this blessed stream. Thank you, Story. And I don't know why she's so quiet. Her voice got turned down a little bit. I have to make sure I turn that up at the Texas Beach. So thank you both. Appreciate the bits. How you doing tonight, Steam? So shout out for you. Looks like you were doing some farm sim for your last stream. All right, so this guy's real name is Nemzio Bot. He gave us a fake ID. He didn't think we could figure out who he was, but we can trace back his identity based on the license plate that he gave us. So he gave us an invalid. Well, he doesn't have. He has invalid insurance, and he does not. And he gave us a fake ID.
To the strummer's concentration, everyone stop.
Stop. Thank you, Story. Much appreciated. No problem, Steam. Steam says, doing good.
Bits.
More bits from Atha. It's raining tig old biddies in the house. Thank you, Atha. Steam says, good. I'm good. Up ready for a day on Steam Engine. Nice. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to cite him for not having insurance on his vehicle.
I have to issue you a ticket because you don't
have
valid
So we stopped 3
insurance.
cars at this checkpoint. All 3 of them
My lawyer will take care of it.
didn't have insurance. That's shameful. In the meantime, we're going to give him
Kindly cooperate
DUI
as I
testing.
collect a sample to see if you're drunk.
Thank you guys for the bits. Uh-oh. Okay, so he's clean on blood alcohol.
Please, allow me to collect a sample to see if you're under the
Never mind.
influence of
We're
any
good,
drugs.
Cheers are very disruptive to the strummer's concentration. Everyone stop. Yeah. I know my concentration is like gone at the moment. All right, so he's negative on drugs and alcohol. But he did give us a fake ID, so he's going to jail for that.
You're under arrest for carrying a fake ID.
Please, don't do that.
Begging will get you nowhere, son. All right, let's pat him down. Get him transported, and I believe that's it for our shift. Found his wallet. He's got a quarter-ounce of marijuana, which is legal. Some coins and a fidget spinner. No snacks. Well, I guess marijuana could technically be considered his snack, right?
Backup requested to take a suspect into custody. I repeat, backup requested.
Copy that. The nearest available unit will be sent to your current location.
All right, so while we're waiting for transport for him, we're gonna search his creeper van. See what we can find. So some gum in the back. Vic says you better finish the shift or that lady will find you. I know. So another ounce of marijuana in the front seat. So he had a ½ ounce on him. He had another ounce in the car, so he's technically over the legal limit. And let's see what he's got on this side.
Ruining everyone's fun tonight.
Cop Kojo ruining everyone's fun tonight. And hello, Jeep Guy. Welcome, Jeep Guy. How you doing? Andy says best get to bed. Thanks for the stream. Okay, Andy. Thanks for hanging out, man. If you're streaming tomorrow, I will catch you tomorrow. Appreciate your company, Andy. See you soon. All right, and oh my God, and a handgun in the front seat. So yeah, this guy was going to jail no matter what. Jeep Guy said fidget spinner sent him straight to jail. I know. I don't know. I think I'd send him straight to jail just for the bad taste in shoes there. Personally. So, Story, thank you for the additional 100 bits. Appreciate that. So there's my partner. Yeah, it's the same guy that took our first suspect to jail tonight. Dude, what are you waiting for? You're holding up traffic, in fact. Let's go. I don't know what he's doing sitting in there like that. Maybe he's finishing off a podcast or finishing off a cigarette. I have no idea what he's doing.
All right, partner. I'll go ahead and take the suspect into custody. Don't resist and get into the police van.
No choice.
You know what? I have to add that line to the drinking game. The only thing I put in the drinking game up to now was criminal lines. Every time I hear the cop says that, it just sounds kind of creepery to me.
I have a vehicle here for towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location?
Don't resist and get into my van.
Tow truck will be at your location shortly.
All right, so on that note, let's head back to the precinct. So we're going south of here, right? All right, so we'll get his van towed away. So 3 for 3 on our checkpoint stops tonight. Although none of them were drunk, they all failed to have insurance. And hello, Lone Star. Is that you? Who was that? Was that you?
Hey there.
There we go. Yes, it was her. How you doing, Lone Star? Lone Star, thank you for the host. Appreciate that. Shift is long over. Uh-oh. Did you see that, Vic? I got the red bar in the top corner, right corner there. That you're right. That means I'm gonna get chewed out by the dispatcher with delusions of power in a minute here. Good to see you, Lone Star. How's everything? Vic says, anyone want to go to the precinct to ask where the precinct is? Right. Lone Star redeems hydrate. Will do, Lone Star. Let me just clock out on our shift here. And we will fulfill that. Lone Star says, all good? You? Doing good, Lone Star. No complaints. Everything's good, man. Thank you for the hydrate. Salute. Uh-oh, I lost some conduct points on something there. Minus 25 on one thing. Alright, well, I like to know what I did wrong, so let's go through the shift summary and figure it out. So I got minus 5 on this one. It was unjustified handcuffing. Which case was that? So, body search, found an illegal item. ID check and transport requests. I'm not sure which case that was. Oh, is the woman that I think when we first came out of the precinct, I saw her running and I just chased her? And it turned out she was dealing drugs? That might be her. Or is it? Yeah, I think that's her. The illegal items. Yeah, it had to be those drugs she was carrying. Because she was carrying like 1.5 ounces of marijuana and she had white powder. I think that probably was her. So normally what I do on that one is I check, what did I do first? Because it can't, the way it's supposed to work now is, yeah, exactly. Why is it unjustified? She was dealing drugs. I saw her dealing drugs. So the first thing I did was cuffed her. And then I patted her down, found the drugs, and then I called for transport. So I'm not sure why it's unjustified handcuffing. I think it's a bug. Because I used to see that before this release. Like, we just got a new release, for those of you just joining the stream, on Tuesday. They put out a major release of this game called, and I forgot the name of it, sorry. The holding cells update, which now you can arrest your own, or you can transport your own prisoners to jail. There's the link if anybody wants to see the release notes. And they changed some of the restrictions to, whereas before, if you handcuffed them as the first thing you did, it would, you would then lose the ability to do other things after that, like check their ID or a number of other things. Give them traffic tickets, things like that. They changed it in this release so that you can still do those things even after you cuff them. So in a case like that, I'm chasing a drug dealer, right? For my own personal safety, right as soon as I catch her, the safest thing for me to do is handcuff her and then proceed with patting her down and do other things. But it looks like I'm still getting a bug if I do that first. So if somebody else who happens to be lurking or watching the stream knows why I'm getting that as unjustified, let me know. Because I used to see that before this release. Yeah, that's what I think, Lone Star. They should consider it detaining. Although, actually, you bring up a good point. There is a thing that when you approach a suspect, you tell them why you're detaining them. So in a lot of cases, like, foot stops and other things, you have the option to tell them you're being detained because you match a description. Things like that. You're being detained because I saw you littering. Maybe the game expected me to give her a detention reason before handcuffing her. But I was just in a foot chase with her. You didn't see it happen, but I was in a foot chase with her. So because she was fleeing, I consider her dangerous, right? So the first thing I did when I caught her was cuff her. I think that's a legal procedure, but the game obviously doesn't think so. So I'll look into that a little bit more off stream. So that I don't agree with. All right, so what else did we do? What was this first one? All right, we was just giving up pedestrian directions. And then I got negative 10 points for this one. All right, so this is the guy they had the APB out on. Basically, they gave his description, and hello, Phoenix. Yeah, long time to you too. How you doing, Phoenix? Welcome. So there was an APB out for a guy. We had his description. We knew what clothes he was wearing and everything. So we saw that guy. That was the guy we caught near the baseball stadium, right? So normally, like I said, I took out my taser, right? And the first couple times you take out a taser and aim it, usually your character gives a verbal warning. What I usually do is I give them 3 verbal warnings. If he doesn't stop running by the time he gets the 3rd verbal warning, I'll shoot him with the taser. In that case, he never gave a verbal warning before I shot him. It was a glitch. It wasn't that I wasn't aiming, but it just didn't verbally say anything. So maybe it thinks, oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm talking and I'm reading it wrong. I thought it was an unjustified stun gun discharge. So it's telling me The stun gun discharge is justified, but then it says unjustified handcuffing. So that, I believe, is no. The guy had an APB and he was running. First thing I do when I catch him is I'm going to handcuff him. All right, so we got some problems here. I don't think that's my problem. I think it's the same thing here. I was just chasing a drug dealer, caught her. The first thing I did was handcuff her because I knew what I was chasing her for. She was selling drugs, right? So, yeah, first thing I'm going to do for my safety is cuff her. Same thing here. This guy had an APB. He was running, right? I tased him. He hits the ground. First thing I do when I catch him is I'm going to cuff him. So I think that's a bug. I don't see anything wrong with that conduct. All right, so minus 10 there. We know what that is. Minus 10 for that guy. We know what that is. 5, rather. Did I miss anything else? No, those are only negatives. All right. Other than that, all the conduct points are positive, so that means I'm clean. We only get negative conduct points if we do something without probable cause or that's against somebody's civil rights. So, yeah, I think those are glitches. I'm comfortable with what I did. I think they just need to code that differently, or they need to tell me if there's something else I should be doing wrong. That I'm doing wrong, rather. Anyway, so much for the post-mortem on my negative conduct. Phoenix says, I'm doing all right. Thanks. How about you? Doing good, Phoenix. Doing good. It's good to see you. Phoenix, I saw you were streaming late last night. And hello, Nudes. Hey, dude, you too. Hey, doing, Nudes. Phoenix, I hadn't seen you stream in a while, and I think I was on my way to bed last night, and I saw you pop up on my follows list. So shout out for Phoenix, Cerberus. Oh, you were doing Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay. Welcome, Nudes. How you doing? Oh, that's right, Nudes. You were doing Dad of War the other night. I saw you. I'm trying to think. Did I actually drop in or not? I don't think I did. I think I was lurking for a little bit, though, but I did see you were streaming. But welcome. Welcome, Nudes and Phoenix. Good to see you both. Dad of War, exactly. Yeah. Lone Star says, I've got to be better at streaming. Got to get back in the groove. Yeah, I've been looking for you, Lone Star. I haven't seen you go live in a while. Boy, right. Exactly, dudes. Let's see. Sap says, did you read the Miranda rights when you cuffed her? And hello, Sap. Welcome. How you doing, Sap? I'm surprised you're still up. Vic, irascible Sap. See what I'm talking about? I would imagine my chat tonight is 50-50, 50% UK. So I get all the UK night owls. Welcome, Sap. But to answer your question, no, I don't actually get a manual Miranda warning action, I guess, in the game. But I did notice, because we got a major release of this week, I did notice when we transported our first suspect to jail tonight, once I put her in the backseat of my car and we were driving to the jail, to the precinct, there was automatically text in the bottom simulating our character reading her Miranda rights. So apparently it happens automatically. I don't actually get to do it manually, but it does happen. Vic says, a nice 3 a.m. watching a Kojo stream. Hey, we aim to please, Vic. Yeah, it is about 3 a.m. there, isn't it? God. Lone Star says Kojo is the best lurker, so reliable. Thanks, Lone Star. Sap says maybe that's why unlawful cuffing. Got to read them their rights when you cuff them. I would if I had a choice. Well, actually, Sap, you don't have to read them your rights to cuff them. You can do that after you cuff them. And in my case, I got penalized. It said unlawful cuffing, but I am reasonably comfortable that that is a bug in the game. Lone Star says you don't have to worry about unjust arrest and farm sim. Yeah. Yeah, Nudes, had your dad a war stream go the other night? Yeah, another game you don't have to worry about unjust arrest. You just punch people in the face. So, all right, let's see. So we're ready for our next shift of the night, of the week. So it is now Wednesday of the duty week. We're supposed to do 5 shifts in a week is what they like us to do. We can take a couple days off though. So let me see. What do we have? All right. So we reduced crime stats in this area, Conway, which is where the baseball stadium is. But looks like Callahan just became elevated again, and Baytown we still haven't really gotten down. So let me see. We can take an evening shift in Baytown. It looks like. Yeah, it's an evening shift. That's a motor patrol. Or we can take a foot shift, also an evening shift, it looks like, in this area, Callahan. Yeah, the red areas here basically show elevated crime areas, and they want us to pretty much do targeted enforcement. We don't have to, it's optional, but that's what they would like us to do. You know what? Let's do a foot patrol in Callahan. Do I want to do foot patrol here? No, let's do it here. Because we did one in Baytown earlier, but we didn't really get the stats down because we ended up working a lot of cases in a different district. Vic says, I think most games that don't involve police don't involve unjust arrest. Yes. Nude says, it was a short stream. Liberty was limping and I had to get a big goat's head out of her paw. Goat's head is a really, really sharp thorn-like thing. Oh, thanks. I was just about to ask where the goat's head was. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is that like a... I mean, where does that happen? Is that like something that you get out of cactuses, or... Either way, it sounds terrible. Hope she's okay. Poor Liberdude, right, Phoenix? Lone Star says, my chickens would want me arrested for not feeding them softens that shit. Yeah. It comes from a weed. Oh, okay. How is she? I hope she's doing okay. Better? She's okay. Got lots of treats. Nice. Lots of treats, lots of pets. That's cool. Jeep guy says, poor Liberty, my chicken... sorry, I read that. Oh, no, I didn't read that. Poor Liberty, my chickens act like they've never been fed ever. You guys have chickens? Or are you just kidding? Alright. Lone Star and Jeep guy, do you guys have chickens? For real, for real? Alright, let's see. So we took the SUV for our last shift. Let's take the Panther. Which purrs like a big black panther. Alright, before we do that, let me do one thing. They gave us a new option to turn the siren down. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It's a new option they gave us just this release, but it's a welcome option. Jeep guy, you have 19 chickens. Oh my god. Vic says I don't have a chicken. I got chicken in the freezer. That's about it. Lone Star, you have chickens? Like for real? Alright, let me see where we are real quick on the map. Let's go this way. Plus, it's a traffic jam that way. So. All right, see what we can get into. The vehicle did not use turn signal. That vehicle can use a muffler. Hang on a second. All right, we're gonna pull that guy over. Sorry, I got the wrong control there. Here we go. You know what? Nobody saw that, right? I'm gonna pull in front of this guy because otherwise I'll end up blocking traffic. So he didn't pull up far enough for me to park in behind him, which is another bug they need to fix. Like, dude, you need a lady, you need a muffler.
I have to detain you for driving a vehicle that's making excessive noise.
I thought the noise was fixed.
I'd like you to leave your car
Shut that
and go
shit
to the
off,
side.
man. God. She's guilty, look at her, right? Jeep guy says you have 9-week-old chicks. Okay. Oh my God. Alright, so first let's do a quick plate check on her car. Alright, she's got expired plates. So let me see, what is her plate? 5, Adam, Union 617. Alright.
ID and vehicle insurance card, please.
Here you go, officer.
Lone Stars, you have digital chickens in your digital farm. Oh, that's right, Lone Star, you play Farm Sim. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. Alright, so it comes back as... Alright, she gave me an ID for Carolina Diaz. Current license. No gun permit. 5 Adam Union 617 4-door car. Okay, so insurance checks out. Let's double check her computer record. Alright. Previous criminal conviction for credit card and debit card fraud. Other than that, everything checks out. Alright. Give her 2 tickets. Her voice is overly loud too. What's she driving? Technically she's driving a 4-door sedan. Now they don't have licensed brands in this game. This is kind of a... What the hell happened back there? Did an accident happen? I think that guy just had an accident behind me. Oh, wait a minute. I think that's the guy I hit. Nobody saw that. Yeah, they don't have licensed vehicle brands in this game. But all the vehicles, you know, look kind of like, you know, real cars. Like, for example, you can tell my car is a Dodge Charger, but they don't call it the Charger, they call it the Panther Z. But yeah. I mean, that kind of looks like, I don't know what, Mitsubishi maybe? I'm not sure. Alright, let's give her a ticket. So, she didn't have, let me double check that again. She's got expired registration and she's got basically loud exhaust. So, first, what I stopped her for was the loud exhaust.
I'll write you a ticket for driving with excessive noise from your car. That will be $100.
Is she deaf?
My lawyer will take care of it.
She probably is by now. She made me deaf. See how I'm still screaming? Let's see. And then she gets a citation for invalid registration.
I have to fine you for having an expired license plate.
Nude says I saw a Charger Hellcat on the highway today. Nice.
Oh, come on. That's so much money.
What? No lawyer? You not going to do the lawyer flex on me this time? So... Sorry, hang on one second. Let me check one more thing. She does have valid insurance. Okay, so... Earlier tonight, I've pulled over about 3 people without valid insurance. My tendency is to not let people drive if they don't have insurance. I impound the car and send them home on foot. She has valid insurance, so technically she can drive home, but I'm trying to figure out if I have probable cause to do anything else like a DUI check. I don't think I do, though. Alright, I'm gonna let her go.
We're done. You can leave now. Have a good day.
And I see somebody running out the corner of my eye. Okay, what the hell is this about? Let me grab my handy dandy taser. I don't know what she's running for, but I'm gonna find out.
Hands in the air!
Alright, one warning. Stop, lady. There we go.
Assistance is requested for
All right, what was she? Now she's glitched in the car. Oh, come on. Seriously?
I'd like to see
I think she
your ID,
snatched a
please.
wallet. I think that's what happened.
Here, officer.
Give her a breathalyzer for that outfit.
This is Patrol 4561 taking care of the accident.
It's like the companies in SCS games. Oh, yeah, you're right, Vic. This is the ID she gave me? That is... No, you're not even... no. Alright, so she gave me a stolen ID. I think she... I'm still not sure what she was running for, but I think that's a stolen wallet in her hand. Let me check something, because there's normally a thing where they had this thing they call focus mode. If you focus on the person you suspect of something, it tells you what you think they did. She's a dude. Hang on a second.
How you doing, officer?
Oh, good lord.
Don't move!
Don't shoot me, please!
Trust me, give me a reason. Alright. This is a little suspect. It didn't give me the information back when I did the focus prompt. But I think she stole a wallet. I think that's what I'm stopping her for. All I know is I saw her running. So if I find a stolen wallet, I know that's what it is.
Set me free!
Oh, come on. Seriously? Yeah, you give me a hard time here, lady. Set me free. Wait, she says set me free. Is that in a drinking game? So, for you guys who just joined the stream, because some of these, yep, stolen wallet, that's what we got it for. Because some of these perps say, really stupid shit, we made a drinking game out of it. Thanks, Vic. Is set me free on the list? It is. Drink. Salute. Alright, so I think we got three sips tonight so far.
I have to arrest you for larceny.
She's a dude. No, she's just carrying a stolen ID, nudes. Sometimes they have stolen IDs and fake IDs. You can kind of only tell by looking at the computer records. I caught Justin Bieber with dark hair. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we did kind of pat her down already. Let's see. So I could have arrested her for a stolen the fake ID alone, or the stolen ID. But I caught her red-handed stealing a wallet. I was pretty sure that's what she was running for.
We need support. Who's available?
But the game kind of glitched a little bit on giving me intel when I did into the focus mode. Bus sim drinking game, ADR. Go ahead, ADR. Work on it.
This is Patrol 4561. I'll deal with the accident.
Wait, that chick is still... that I gave the ticket for the muffler is still sitting there.
Please cooperate and get into the car.
Maybe I'm in her way. She can't pull out until I move. Alright, but in the meantime, let's get the wallet owner.
Oh, call 911! They stole my
Here's
wallet!
your wallet.
Thank
Her
goodness
wallet
you were
back.
there, officer.
As if you can get away with that ID, said Vic. Yeah.
All right, here's your report.
Thanks a lot, officer.
Man, that chick is still
Have a nice day. Goodbye.
trolling the neighborhood with a busted muffler.
I'm currently busy with another issue.
Alright, so we can drive this chick to jail. Let's deal with that. And maybe get away from this noisy... Okay, yeah, she was just waiting for me to pull away. Oh, God, there's so much noise. Sorry about that, guys. Man. Alright, let's take her to jail. How do I set the waypoint? There we go. Dude, don't hit my Hellcat. Come on, man. What are you sitting there for? Oh, because I got my lights on. That's right. It's like when they see you with the lights, they're afraid to move, and it should be the exact opposite. They should be getting the hell out of your way.
another issue.
Alright, so this is the new feature for the game that came out this week. It's called the, Hey. Wrong door. Oh. Still the wrong door. She's in this door.
Let's take you to the cell.
It's called the, boy, I forgot the name of it already. But basically, this release allows you to perp walk your own suspects to jail. Vic says, yeah, people in bus sim say the most random stuff. Yeah. Boy, we're a little stuck here. Hello, keep moving. Oh, come on. And we're stuck. He's a gentleman. Maybe their hidden aids aren't working. Sounds like a lawnmower. Sounds like a bulldozer or something. Oh man, come on. Reset player. Alright, let's try that again. Yeah, I've seen it where you get stuck in certain parts of the map sometime, and they finally gave us that reset option, but if I can get through... Okay, we made it through that time. Now we just gotta find an empty cell.
Alright.
We require an officer to handle a traffic stop. Can you take care of it?
I'm busy with other issues at the moment.
Alright. Bye, Felicia. Alright, so is anybody else locked up? Alright, so one here. One there. But yeah, this is the big new feature with this release. Oh, it's called the Holding Cells update. Sorry, I just remembered. Alright, so we got two perps in prison. They're both female tonight. Talk to the wall time, exactly. Let me see. How much time we got left on shift? Oh, we still got most of our shift left. Alright. So let's get back on patrol, see what else we can get into. Oh, you know what? Before I resume patrol, because I discharged my taser, I need to reload my taser. Because you have a limited number of darts in your taser. Let me see. What do I have in it? Two. Yeah, 2 shots per clip. 6 total per shift. Okay. Alright. And hello, Strange Sauce! Strange Sauce says, what up, bro? Just dropping in for a sec to show some love and respect. Thanks, you, Strange Sauce. Welcome, man. How you doing? Strange Sauce, me and you one day on patrol, man. One day soon. Holding Cells update? Yes. So, folks, shout out to our new friend of the stream, Strange Sauce, who started following us last time we streamed Police Simulator, which was technically the first time. This is only our second stream. He plays a little bit of this as well as quite a few other things. He was playing Spider-Man 3. We were hanging out with him. Wait, did somebody snatch another wallet? I think they did. See if I can catch this one. Where did she... Oh, she got away. Damn it. I just realized at the last second she was... I saw that woman running across the street, but it dawned on me too late she was a wallet thief.
911! They stole my wallet!
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Unfortunately, you won't get your wallet back now. All right, here's your report.
I should have caught the thief myself.
Yeah, you should have. Not.
You're good to go. Bye.
Strange Sauce says, doing fantastic,
Hello.
brother. Just finished a Silent Hill 2 stream, and yes, man, love to do it. Yes, man, love to do a co-op patrol. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Strange sauce. But welcome, man. Hope you're having a good evening. But yeah, like I started to say, I don't know if I finished the thought. We're hanging out with Strange Sauce. I think it was last week. We raided him. In a second, I got a waypoint I need to clear. One day last weekend. And he was playing Spider-Man 3. And you had what? You were running that on like a PC emulator or something, Strange Sauce, remember correctly? I did, okay. Yeah, I think it was Friday. I'm not sure which day it was. I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday. My days run together after a while. Alright, so we got about half of our shift left, 4 hours. What are these guys sitting here for? Is this an accident? No. Dude, why are you sitting there like that? What are you doing? Alright. He's half asleep, I guess. He's kind of tripping. I don't know what he's doing.
We have a traffic stop that requires taking care of.
I'm afraid I can't make it in time.
Hang on a second. This guy's a little shady over here. I think I should tail him for just a little bit and see what he's doing. Sorry. I'm trying to remember my... Oh, there we go. I was looking for my first-person view, because then I can do focus mode. Because that tells you what your officer saw kind of out of the corner of his eye that you don't always see directly as a player sometimes. That's kind of what focus mode is for. But I just saw him not using a turn signal. I kind of don't care. Oh, he just ran a red light. No, we'll get him for that one. Alright, my guess is this guy's probably drunk. Alright, let's blip him. Pull over, dude. You ran red lights, you weren't using the turn signals, you're kind of raggedy out here. Let's find out what he's up to. Alright, they never pull up quite far enough for you to pull in behind them. This is annoying. Hopefully the devs will fix that. I mean, this is still early access, so... Alright, let's see what he's up to. Strange Sauce also says, no, they actually have a Spider-Man 3 PC port of the game. Oh, okay.
I stopped you because you blew through a red light.
Alright, so that's the detention reason we were talking about earlier.
Let me have a look at your ID and insurance.
So to Sap's point earlier,
sure,
that might be the reason why I had those unjustified cuffing, ratings.
I'm taking care of
maybe because I didn't tell him why I was detaining him first. All right, so he gave me an ID that is current driver's license. He did not give me his insurance card though. So let's check his computer record. All right, invalid. He does not have current insurance. No gun permit. Previous conviction of DUI alcohol. Oh. How much you want to bet he's recidivist? All right. All right. First thing I'm gonna do is give him a ticket for running a red light.
You're being charged and ticketed between $120 and $250 for running a red light.
So much money for such a small infraction.
Alright, I also saw him not using his turn signal. Do I want to be a hard ass? And give him a ticket for that also? Yes, so Strange Sauce. Any other votes? I'm leaning towards giving him a warning for that. Give him the ticket? Alright, we'll give him the ticket.
You're being charged and ticketed between $60 and $150.
Only because when I saw him do it originally, I was just going to let it go.
Why does it cost
But then he
so
ran the red
much?
light, right? So, all right. But in the meantime, step out of the car.
Slowly step
dude.
out of the car and move to the sidewalk, please.
Oh, nice man bun, Holmes. All right. In the meantime, let me double check his plates again. 4 Queen William 449er. Yeah, that is the vehicle he's registered with, and as the one he's currently driving. Does not have valid insurance. Okay. Alright, so we'll cite him for that. And either way, I'm not going to let him drive again because he didn't have insurance.
Here's a ticket for not having
I'm going to
valid
impound
insurance.
his car until he gets proper insurance.
You're ruining my day.
Uh-oh. Drink? Or no drink? I bet that sounds like that's on the list. All right, while we're at it, let's give him his DUI.
Let's just check if you're under
His
the
DUI
influence of
test.
alcohol.
Oh, he's surprised. He's not DUI. He's only .007. You're ruining my day is on the list. Thank you, Vic. You know what? I would have bet money he was DUI.
I'm currently busy with another issue.
That surprises me. Maybe he's DUI for a narcotics sale. Let's try that.
I'm just collecting a sample to see if you used any drugs while driving.
Same, yeah. Wow, he's clean for amphetamines. Dude, he was driving like a complete moron. Maybe he's just an asshole. So, the mobile delay? Okay, good. No, thank you. No, that was right on time. Maybe he's just broken. Alright, well, I didn't get any other, hits off of him as far as, shifty looks or anything. I don't have any probable cause to search him anymore. I'm just gonna have his car towed and let him go.
I have a vehicle here that needs towing. I need a wrecker at my current location, please.
Sadly.
You're good to go. Drive safe and have a nice day.
Alright, well that's it for that guy. Whoa, I saw that. Did you guys see that? I turned around and saw her snatch that woman's wallet. Wow, she just ran right into that car.
Stop! Put your hands in the air!
Don't kill me, officer, please!
Glitch. Okay, so maybe he's just having a bad day and it got worse. Yeah. See now, see what I'm doing now compared on when I cuffed the other suspects. I think the very first thing I should do for my safety is handcuff her. But I got dinged last time I do that. But let's see what happens.
The reason why you're under arrest is because you have committed larceny.
Please, don't do that.
Glitch in the Matrix, yeah. Jeep Guy says some people just can't drive. That is also true.
Please proceed with me to the police precinct.
Technically, I could walk her right into the precinct. It's right there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her back over here because I think the victim is still over here. Whoa, watch it. I thought the dude was just going to run right over us. Plus 25, no ding on that one. Thank you, Strange Sauce. I didn't actually see it myself. Thank you. All right. Yeah, Strange Sauce. The shift that we ran right before this shift, I ran down a drug dealer on foot. First thing I did was handcuffed her, and I got dinged for it. Then I ran down a guy who had a warrant out on him. He matched the description. Oh, you know what? I didn't recover the wallet. Sorry. I got to pat her down to actually get the wallet. We ran down a guy who had an APB on him. And the first thing I did was, well, first I had to tase him. And after I tased him, I put him in cuffs for my safety. And I got dinged for that. So I think that's either a bug or I forgot to do something. Maybe it wanted you to search them or something first. Yeah, but I still think that's wrong if so. Okay, and there's a stolen wallet. All right. All right, now I can give her back her wallet.
Here it is. I was able to get it back this time.
Sometimes try to search them and then they run. Exactly.
Here's your report.
I'm very grateful, officer.
You can leave now. Have a great day.
All right, so this one. So with this update, the holding cells update, I can do this 2 ways. Number one, well, 3 ways. Number one, I can call transport and have her taken to jail. Number 2, I can walk her directly into the jail cell since it's right across the street. Or number 3, I can put her in my car and drive her to jail. So there's 3 ways to walk them in. But since it's kind of busy in terms of traffic, I think I'll drive her over to the cell, even though it's right across the street. But first, let's see what this dude wants.
Hey, officer, I'm looking for a shop next door to Natasha's.
That lady has some drugs on her?
Could you show me where it is on the map, please?
What, the one I patted down?
Yeah, I know that place. Let me mark the location.
The one I just arrested? Or the case earlier? I mean, he's looking for Natasha's. Which one is Natasha's? Right there.
I'm very grateful, officer.
No problem, citizen. All right. You thought you saw something about white powder? Okay. Yeah, I mean... Sorry, I was probably a little distracted when I patted her down. I was mainly looking for the wallet. I was a little distracted by chat, but yeah. I mean, if she did, then okay. So we're reading her rights this time. You can kind of see it in the subtext. But if she did have drugs on her,
to the police precinct cell.
we don't have stacking of charges in this version of the game yet. So she's already under arrest for larceny, so it doesn't matter what else came on after that. I can't layer any more charges. But they already said that they're going to put that in later, that we will be able to...
Officer, help requested
Stay
for an
here.
emergency. Please respond.
They will be putting that in the future release. And you re-downloaded all this PDFR? Oh, okay. You saw white powder too? Okay. Yeah, so right now the way this one works is you can only arrest them for the first charge, and you can't, once you arrest them, you can't add any more charges. LSPDFR, you can do that. You can just layer on as many charges as you can think up, pretty much. Oh, this is wrong. Go this way. But they are going to be adding that. But, you know, I mean, they're building in a lot of features like that, like we do have in LSPDFR. Which is good. Watch it, lady. Don't you hear lights and sirens? Jeez. Over. Move. Alright, they really do need to work on the AI for emergency signals. I mean, they have improved it. It actually, believe it or not, used to be a lot worse than this. But they still got a lot of work to do. As does my driving. Alright, so where are we going? I kind of forgot what my call out was now. Oh, major accident, major accident. God, how far away is it? My shift's gonna be over by the time I get there. There it is.
I've arrived at the scene.
Alright, so I'm just gonna hook a quick U-turn so I can block the scene with my block traffic with my car. Alright, so major accident. First thing I need to look for, which I forgot with the earlier accident. Yep, are there any bodies in the streets? Alright.
I have an injured person requesting an ambulance.
Strange Sauce says, alright man, gonna bounce. Playing Dying Light with my nephew. Okay, Strange Sauce, thanks for hanging out, man. Alright, achievement pop for that. Oh, this guy's gotta be drunk. Look at him. He's got the shades on. Good looking out. Look forward to playing soon. Okay. Yep, will do, Strange Sauce. Take care, man. Jeep guy says, so far Kojo broke more driving laws than anyone he's arrested.
I saw how this person suddenly took a turn.
Vic says, I'm just laying in bed, lights off. Okay, Vic.
Let me have a look at your ID and insurance card, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that guy's either drunk or stoned or he's a rock star. I don't know.
Okay, great. We need you to get to the ambulance anyway for further examination. Can you walk on your own?
Yes, I can do that.
Right, his name is Rodney Mackinnon. Looks like him in the picture, far as I can tell. His license is expired, though. Does not have a gun permit. Let's see, insurance for a two-door car. That does look like a two-door. 8 Tom John Edward 55. Also expired insurance. Oh God! How about check his computer record? So expired license, expired insurance. No valid registration. Yeah, this guy isn't doing anything right. No arrests, just a few warnings and a traffic ticket. All right. I smell alcohol. That's okay, because he was going to get a DUI
All right.
test
Let me just
anyway.
check to see if you're under the influence.
Because he can't even stand up straight. He is .106, so he is well over the legal limit. And that does not surprise me at all.
I'll just need to take a sample to determine if you're under the influence of any illicit substances.
I'll do a quick drug swab. He's negative for THC or amphetamines. Okay. All right, so we're going to give him some quick citations. He's got expired insurance, expired registration.
Being charged and ticketed between $50 and $250 for driving a car with an expired
Super
license.
drunk, yeah.
So much money for such a small infraction.
Oh, dude, we're just getting warmed up. Hold your horses. All right, and he's got expired license. Wait a minute. Which one did I just give him? Sorry. Stream brain setting in a little bit. I gave him the license plate, right? Expired license plate? Or registration. I forgot which one I gave him. Let me see. If I gave him expired registration, I think it'll be grayed out, won't it? No, it won't be. Alright, I think I gave him registration first.
$75 and $100 for carrying an expired ID.
Why does it cost so much?
Your shift is over, officer.
Hush, dispatcher. I don't work for you. You're not my boss. Alright, and we will give him no valid insurance.
Here's a ticket for not having valid insurance.
You're ruining my day.
Yes, we are. Drink. Alright, and because I can do this out of order now, or in any order I want, we're going to cuff him for the DUI.
I have to arrest you for driving under the influence of alcohol.
Chief guy says he should have
move
did
on
the
to the
pennies in
sidewalk.
the mouth before the breathalyzer. Works in
Please, officer.
According to the internet. Oh, is that how that works? Ah, okay. I don't think I knew that. Thank you, Vic. You having this conversation awfully close to the moving traffic here? Yeah, no. And welcome, Captain Loser. Alright, so that guy's going to jail. Because he didn't do anything right tonight. Let's talk to the other witnesses.
I might have forgotten to use the term signal. I'm not sure.
Wow, he's slurring. He's got to be drunk, too.
Please, show me your ID and vehicle insurance.
Here you
I should
go.
lock him up just for that awful hairstyle. Look at that guy. Jeez. Alright, Jay Junichi. So he also has an expired license. Goodness, don't these guys keep up with their stuff? No gun permit. He does have current insurance at least. 4-door car, 6 George Union 059. Okay. Let's double check his computer records. Yeah, expired ID, no gun permit, but wait a minute. This says his insurance is valid. Yeah, his insurance is valid. That's right. Never mind. I'm sorry. All right, that's fine. And he has a previous conviction for insurance fraud. Unorganized citizens. How you doing tonight, Captain Loser? All right, so let's. Well, first thing I can do is cite him for having an expired license.
I have to issue you a ticket for your expired ID. That will be between $75 and $150.
My lawyer will take care of it.
All right, let's get him DUI test
I'm
as
just
well.
collecting a sample to check if you've had any alcohol while driving.
Totally clean on blood alcohol. I would have bet otherwise. All right, let's try him for narcotics.
Please, allow me to collect a sample to see if you're under the influence of any drugs.
All right, it's clean on intoxicating substances, I guess. Before I do that, let me double check something else. 6 George Union 059. Okay, that is the car he's driving. All right, let's talk to our third suspect, witness, what have you.
I saw how this person suddenly took a turn.
Captain says, doing fine, just lurking around a few streams. Okay. Well, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in.
Let me have a look at your ID and insurance card, please.
Sure, here you go, officer.
Always good to have you here, keeping me honest on the crime-fighting streams, Cap. Alright, so she is Ann Gallo. Is that her? I'm not sure that looks like her. Hair is dramatically different. Current license, at least. And then she's insured for a pickup truck. It looks like a pickup. 0 Lincoln George Nora 43. Tester broken. He looks higher than a kite. That's what I thought. But yeah, I guess the instruments are not on my side tonight. Alright, and current insurance as well. Alright, so her documents are in order. The only problem is, I'm not sure that looks like her. I'm not sure that's her ID. That does not look like the same person to me. But what I can also do is, let's double check the vehicle that we have here. 0 Lincoln George Nora 43. Yeah, that is the same vehicle. Is that registered to the same person? Ann Gallo? Guess it is. Just. Alright, well, I guess she just looks so different from the picture. Alright, let's do the DUI test. I'm a little suspect.
Alright, let me just check to see if you're under the influence of alcohol.
That ID she gave me. Alright, she's clean on blood alcohol. And,
I'll just need to take a sample to determine if you're under the influence
maybe she just
of
got a lot
any illicit
older
substances.
Yeah, I guess it's just, it might just be the hairstyle changed and the glasses. Oh, she's positive on THC though. Okay, well her documents were in order compared to the other guys, but she's driving under influence of cannabis.
What's up, officer?
Talking to me? Yes, he is. Hi. Alright, so she's going to jail, but unfortunately I've already used my first two set of handcuffs. No, I only arrested one guy, didn't I? I didn't arrest the other guy yet. Yeah, I didn't cuff this guy yet, but I'm out of handcuffs for some reason. You know, let me check something. I know you can replenish your supply of stuff from the trunk of your car. Let me see if that includes handcuffs. Yes, okay, that's what we were missing earlier in the stream. I can get more handcuffs from my car. That actually makes sense. So, what do we have on him? Sorry, I'm starting to lose my train of thought. He was DUI. No, he wasn't DUI. He was clean. But we got him for... I know I was going to arrest him for something else, wasn't I? Well, let me get her first, because I know she's DUI for cannabis. So let's do that. DUI cannabis.
You're under arrest for driving under the influence
Karen
of
haircut
cannabis.
adds 10 years.
Move to the side.
Yeah.
No, don't. Please, officer.
Begging will get you nowhere. While I'm on duty, anyway. You know what? Let me redo his. What did I have on him? I had him for. Oh God! What did I have him for? I'm sorry, I lost my train. He was expired license. Okay. Thank you, cheap guy. So that was expired license, but he had valid registration and insurance. And 6 George Union was his car. Didn't match back to him. He has no warrants. Okay, so he's not going to jail. But I gave him his citations already. All right. Should be good. You think? Yeah, no, I think you're right. Thank you. GG, Vic, you got one. Finally. All right, so we'll take our pictures of the accident
Nice to
scene.
see you, officer.
Thanks. That car took a lot of damage. All right, so if I forget, somebody remind me, I need to search that guy's car because he's going to jail. So that gives me probable cause to search his car. Same thing with her. She's going to jail, so I can search both her person and her car. What? Another wallet thief. I'm going to pretend I didn't see it, though, because I'm busy. And it's the end of my shift. I want to go home. Yeah, we heard. Also, we arrived on scene. We found a body in the street, right? I think the EMTs already took that one away. And that's one charge that we don't have. That, you know, somebody hit a pedestrian, right? That's one charge they could use in the game, but that's not a chargeable offense yet. Alright, I think that's it. For our pictures. Alright, is there anything else I need to do? There's your karma. I celebrated too early. Oh, sorry, Vic. Yeah. Alright, let's see.
Your shift is long over. Return back to the precinct now.
Oh, there she is. See? There she is. She's coming out of her shell. Lady, you're the dispatcher. I don't work for you. All right, so let's give this guy his accident report.
All right, here's your accident.
Well documented and exhaustive report. Thank you, officer.
We already gave him a citation. So I think this guy can actually drive his car home. The other two, they're pretty badly damaged. They probably have to be towed. So I'm just going to let him go.
All right, you can go now. Drive safe.
See if he drives his car home. I think he probably will.
Someone stole my wallet.
Yeah, all right.
Nice to see you, officer.
Hey there.
Thanks. Alright. So, in the meantime, let me, search them, get them transported. And then we're done for this shift. Lady is probably the same lady with the Karen haircut. Alright, so we found her with 3/4 of an ounce of marijuana and nothing else incriminating. Why do people carry human teeth? I don't get that. Alright, so I could take her to prison myself, but I'm
need
just
some
gonna
backup here to take a suspect into custody.
have somebody else come get her.
We're sending the closest transport to your location.
And let's pat this guy down, same thing. And then we'll search their cars, get them towed away, and then we're done with this shift. Alright, nothing incriminating on his person.
Backup requested to take a suspect into custody. I repeat, backup requested.
Copy that. The nearest available unit will be sent to your current location.
Cucumber. Alright, there's our first cucumber of the night. These guys seem to like their cucumbers as snacks. Alright, nothing incriminating there. Alright, okay there. Nothing of interest.
I have a vehicle here for towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location?
I don't think I've ever had an employer yell at me for staying late if I was needed. Yeah, I know, right, GK? And the funny thing is, she's not my employer. She's the radio dispatcher. I don't work for her. She's not my boss.
Please cooperate and come with me to the patrol car.
All right, wallet here. Maybe they're bad at driving because they're too busy snacking on their cucumbers. Yeah, they always have some snacks, Vic. Alright, nothing there. Alright, I can't get into the cargo area.
I'll take charge of the suspect, partner. I need you to be cooperative and follow me to the patrol car.
Half ounce of marijuana there, but that's legal in this city. Although she was DUI for marijuana, that's not legal. Nothing there. Okay, let's get this one towed away and we're done with this scene.
I have a vehicle here for towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location?
Tow truck will arrive at your location shortly, officer.
Alright, we're done here. Alright, so we'll pull over temporarily and back to our station. Is this our station or was it the other station? I kind of forgot where we were. I think we were here though. Oh, come on. Another accident? Oh, man.
I repeat, return to the precinct now, officer. Your shift is over.
Hush, child. I'll shoot you when I get back. Man, we got traffic jams. Everywhere. Let me see. Where am I? West and north. All right. So... Guy says, I can't comment. I ate about 1/4 of a jar of spicy pickles today. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like me some pickles. Not so much spicy, though. Although I like spicy foods in general, but not spicy pickles so much. Scott. Welcome, how you doing? She needs a ticket for being a loud muffler. Yeah, we're playing the new Holding Cells update tonight, Scott. Have you tried it yet? All right, let's see if we got any negatives today. All right, clean on conduct points. All right, so yeah, cuffing the wallet thief. Yeah, I didn't have any problems with that this time. Doing okay, Scott. Let's see, did I miss anything else in chat? I think we're okay. You have not tried it yet. Okay. All right, so we're clean on that. So that's our Wednesday shift. I don't think I'm going to go over any details since we didn't have any negatives that time. Let me see, what time is it? Do we want to do one more shift, maybe? Yeah, I think we'll do one more shift. I think what I'll do is I'll do this shift in Callahan. I've been looking at this all night. Because this has been in the red all night, but we haven't had a chance to do... is Scott a Scott? Yes, technically I call him Scott because he is a Scott, not because his name is Scott. His name is Graham. If you can follow that, Vic. Yeah. Or I call him Mr. Cook. But I know way back when I first started streaming, him and Daffy's were my first mods. And I know I used to originally call him G Cook, right? When we first met on Twitch, because that's how his name starts, right? But Daffy's used to always call him Scott. If you remember that, Scott, right? So on my stream one day, I finally just asked him, I said, Scott, what do you prefer? Do you prefer G Cook? Do you prefer Scott? Do you prefer Graham? He said Scott's fine. So I've been calling him Scott ever since. But yeah, free to change that if you want, Scott. It's up to you. Another UK person, but a UK transplant. This one, Vic. Daffy's called me Scott. It was his fault, right? Exactly. Yeah, this one is he's a what's the word I'm looking for? He lives in the U.S. Vic. He's actually in an earlier time zone than I am. So, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, he moved here when he met the woman of his dreams, right, Scott? Lucky bastard.
Hiya.
Hi. Not talking to you,
Hi.
Holmes. They're not hot. Wife bought them while visiting family for great grandmas today. Same heat as a jalapeno. Oh, okay, so not super hot. Talking about the pickles Jeep guy? Alright, so let me see what day of the week is. This is actually Thursday. Street cleaning day here is Wednesday. Alright, so we're doing a foot patrol this tour, ladies and gents. These are taxis. Is this a taxi? This is not a taxi. He's parked in a taxi stand now. Alright, let's check his record though, real quick. Valid registration and insurance. But he is parked in a taxi stand, which is illegal. So we're going to give her a ticket for that and have a tow. He came here to shoot eagles.
Can you send a tow truck to my current location?
And I just heard somebody with a muffler, but I didn't get to catch them real quick.
Hi, officer. Can you help me, please?
Sure, man.
I need to visit the Sakar crew. Can you please point me towards it?
I can certainly try.
It's right here.
See if I have it in my handy-dandy map. I should be close enough.
Thank you so much, officer.
Yeah, whatever, lady. Alright. Let's see, 35 miles per hour in this area. So... Alright, so when we got the new update, Scott, it reset the tutorial mode, which I hate. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see if I can turn it off. Yeah, I can just turn that off. I think it reset them because it put the new feature in. You know, the holding cells thing, but I don't really need that. We get how it works. Let me see. Our current plate, at least. Does he have insurance? He does. Alright, but this is Thursday. Yeah, it's a street sweeping time.
I got a car here that needs towing. Can you send a record to my location?
Scott, you interested in playing this co-op with me sometime? I don't know if you've been playing it much lately. I'm still looking for somebody to play with co-op. Alright. Alright, valid registration and insurance. But again, street sweeping time. Until 12 noon.
I have a vehicle that needs towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location, please?
You're flying now, maybe after I land. Okay.
Good to see you again, officer.
Location as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, not tonight. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream after this shift. And that return greeting prompt is a little glitchy. Vic says, so we have two types of people in the city, deaf and blind. Yeah, because the loud engine's right.
I'm busy with other issues at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, there seems to be a lot more loud cars than there usually are. Thursday on this side of the street also. But also, this is like a
Help! A thief stole my wallet!
Alright. Dude. Alright, now that's what happened earlier in the stream. When I went to catch a guy who was running, when I pulled my taser at him, normally he's supposed to give a verbal warning, and he didn't give one that time either. But then, when I cuffed him immediately after not getting the verbal warning, I got dinged for illegal cuffing or unjustified cuffing or something. So let me see what happens with this guy. Alright, so I don't have an option to...
This is Patrol 4562.
Give him a verbal, you know, while you're being detained thing. So let me just do crime scene, because I know he was stealing a wallet. I saw him do it.
What?
Because you're giving out arresting tickets like candy. Yeah, they paid me by the bust. Scott said, love to play co-op next time, if available. Okay. Pat him down. Where are you flying, Scott? Vic says so. Oh, I'm sorry, I read that one already. Gotcha. All right, and there's a stolen wallet in addition to his various snacks and a Ninja Star. All right. Let me check his ID real quick. Please. Now this I couldn't do in the past until this release. After I handcuffed him, like I couldn't fish for his wallet and his ID. Esteban Ryu. All right, he has no outstanding warrants. He does have previous conviction for coke possession and a number of tickets and verbal warnings. All right, and I'm smelling alcohol. So, I can't escort him? Why not? My car... Oh, no, I'm on foot. That's right. Alright, first let me get him out of the street. Now, if I release him, he should walk to the sidewalk. Alright. But in the meantime, let's give this lady her wallet back.
Alright. Here's your stolen property.
Scott says
You
flying
did a
at
great job, officer.
787
That
in
looked
the
like
Hong
a
Kong.
chase right from a movie.
Here's the report regarding your stolen property.
Okay, thank you, officer.
Where from?
You're good to go. Bye.
Alright, let's go back to our perp. See if we keep him getting hit by a car. Alright, I piloted him down already, right? Yeah. Because we found the wallet. Let me check one more thing. Alright, so technically he does have an expired license. He wasn't driving, so normally I wouldn't give him a ticket for an expired license unless he was driving. But I'm going to give him one anyway because I'm going to be a dick about it.
I'm issuing you a ticket for your expired ID.
To Hong Kong from China.
$75 and $150.
I don't have that much money.
Alright, I'm only doing that this time because I wasn't able to do that in the past. It used to be that once you handcuffed them, there was a bunch of things you couldn't do. But now,
I need some backup here.
I can do that
Take the suspect
even after
into
I
custody.
handcuffed him, so I just wanted to see how it works.
Understood.
Or if it
We're
works.
sending the closest transport to your location.
Alright, that's it for him. And we got about 6 hours left in our shift, I guess. So. Alright, is our transport?
Hey, partner. I just parked near you. I'll give you a location soon. Hey, partner.
Yeah, I haven't been on Flight Sim for a while. I kind of had gotten back into it a little bit earlier
I need
this
you to be
year.
cooperative and follow me to the patrol car.
But I don't think I've played it in about a
your
month. I need
service,
to get back to it. But yeah, Scott, I started teaching myself the airliners a lot better. The A320 and the 747. And I think I'm learning them pretty good now. I think I've learned them good enough to the point of knowing where all the bugs are in like the autopilot and the nav system now. So I think I'm ready for the mod version of those. Because the default airliners are pretty glitched, far as I can tell. Alright, so let's see. So this pickup is where we had left off when we caught the wallet thief. Valid registration and insurance. So all we want to do now is tow, because this is a street sweeping day from 8 to noon. It's 10, it's still 11 a.m. Alright, so let's get this one towed. Nice, thanks. 6 hours until Angry Lady, thanks, Vic.
I have a vehicle that needs towing. Can you send a tow truck to my current location, please?
Yeah, I think she just needs a little loving in her life, Vic.
Hey, a wrecker has already been dispatched to your location.
Hey.
Hey.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that reply greeting is a little glitchy, or I just suck at it somehow. And the only reason I reply back is because you get a little bit of XP for
Hello,
doing
officer. I require help, please.
it. Since you asked me so nicely.
Sorry, officer. I can't find the Sakar building. Can you point me in the right direction, please?
Sure, it's right up the street. I just sent somebody else there.
Yeah, I know that place. Let me mark the location.
Maybe she hates her job. I think she hates life. Actually, we're standing right next to it. In general.
I'm very grateful,
Vic.
officer.
You're so welcome. Traffic stop? No.
I'm not sure I'll be able to get there in time.
Is this a car? Oh, it's right here. It says it right there. It's a car group. Okay. All right, let me see. Where are we on the map? Let's work our way north. There's a lot of noisy mufflers around here. But I'm on foot. It's going to be kind of hard to pull over most of them on foot. I mean,
we have a situation that needs to be taken care of. Is anyone available?
In Callahan, that's where I am.
I'll manage it.
We have new information on the suspect's position. We've updated your map.
All right, so in APB here, this is like the second one we got. We had one earlier. Again, this is one of the ones where, whoops, we had a description of a guy. We chased him down on foot. He ran. I tased him. And the first thing I did was I handcuffed him, and we got dinged for unjustified handcuffing. So let's see what happens this time. Why does every lady have a Karen haircut in this game? Well, you know what? Believe it or not, Jeep Guy, they have a lot more haircut diversity in the game now than they did even a couple months ago. So it's even worse than it used to be.
Officer?
Hello.
All right, let me see. So, a little bit further south of our current position. All right, we're heading the right direction. No, we're not. Head this direction. Where we just came from. And hey, Donna.
I've arrived in the area. I'll start looking for the suspect.
All right, so we're looking for Harry Lefebvre. How do you pronounce that name? He's got red pants. And he's got a Karen haircut. Red pants, that's all we know. Maybe over there? See a dude with red pants? Although, that guy doesn't look black. There he is. So, okay, so this is what happened with the other guy. I saw him, he was running. I ended up tasing him. First thing I did was, after I tased him...
Stop! I don't want to shoot you!
...was I cuffed him and they dinged me for it.
Stop!
All right, he got two warnings this time. All right, dude. All right, now, he's not known to be armed according to our APB, but I still think that the first thing I should do is cuff him for my safety, right? Now, I don't have a prompt that says, you know, tell him why he's being detained, read him his rights, or any of that kind of stuff. So let me, instead of cuffing him first, I'm going to do something I think makes no sense, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to ask him for his ID to make sure I have the right guy.
There you go, officer.
That's what I used to do before they put this release out and they changed all the, you know, what you could do after you handcuff somebody. Alright, so that matches the name of the APB we were looking for. We'll check the computer just to be really anal about it. Yeah, open warrant. So that's our guy, 100%. Previous convictions for DUI, cannabis, and shoplifting. Alright. So, to me, that makes no sense that I should have to do that first. I think he ran from me. I should be able to cuff him first, then do that. Because that's a safety issue, you know, for me as an officer, right?
You're being arrested for having an open warrant.
But let me see now if that ends up being a justified handcuffing because I checked his identity first. That might be the thing you're looking for, even though I don't think that makes sense. You should be able to detain somebody in cuffs, then check their identification. Alright, so we'll pat him down. Vic says, I'm pretty sure Donna was here last time I was here. Yeah, Donna's always here, Vic. Wow, look at all the stolen wallets. Alright, dude.
Backup requested to take a suspect into custody.
Alright, let's get him hauled away.
Requested.
Copy that. The nearest available unit will be
Yeah,
sent to your
Donna's
location.
been here since I started streaming. Like, she's been here since like the very beginning. For whatever reason, she's always here.
I'll be arriving at your location soon.
Bless her heart. Alright, so he'll get
What's up, officer?
called away, then we should be able to check the encounter report.
Please cooperate and come with me to the police van.
Alright, so we have this guy now. We should be able to check. Justify stun gun discharged. justified ID check, justified handcuffing, justified body search, justified arrest. All right, so that's pretty much the same thing we did on the previous shift. The only difference is after the stun...
We have a situation that needs to be taken care of. Is anyone available?
Hush, woman. I'm trying to talk to my audience here. After the stun gun discharge, the first thing I did was handcuff, and then I did everything else. And I got dinged for the handcuff simply because of the order.
This is Patrol 4561. I can take that.
So that's the only difference between this shift and the last shift. So I don't think that's right. I think that's a bug. I don't think that should be termed unjustified handcuffing. I mean, because really in the U.S., evasion itself is an arrestable offense. If you, as a cop, stop somebody and say, I want to talk to you, I want to ask you some questions, you match a description or whatever, and you take off running from the cop, that's a charge even if you're not guilty of anything else.
Call 911!
Just like this guy.
Somebody help me!
Put that taser up, man. What are you doing?
You're taking too long. Sending another unit.
Baby, I am busy. Why can't I aim? Something's wrong. All right, I got a little glitch here. I can't actually aim for some reason. A little closer, a little closer. Also, we really need the ability to tackle. Stun gun. I don't want to shoot the dude. All right, something's wrong. I can't aim my stun gun. Let me try something else. Now, I'm not supposed to do this. Damn it, why can't I aim? Alright, I'm gonna do it anyway. Alright, he's gonna get away. I can't go through the red zone. Yeah, alright. So I got a glitch there. For some reason, I got my taser out, but I couldn't aim it. So that's a glitch.
Hi, officer.
Yeah, hi. Alright, well that's frustrating, but... that's early access for you. Run, Kojo, run. Welcome back, Color. No, he just got back. He was working when he came in earlier. But... how was your shift tonight, Color? And Color, is it still appropriate to call you Chris Rista? Alright, so we're gonna disappoint dude because game glitch wouldn't allow me to effect the arrest.
It's not possible to return your stolen property right now.
Any officers available?
Please take your report. I'll manage it.
Seriously? A report? I want my wallet back.
Wow, he's pissed. Sorry, dude.
All right, you're free to go.
I tried, man.
Enjoy
I
your day.
tried. You see me running? All right, so we got another APB. So where is this one? Oh, this is close to the park. This green area being the park. Vic says, was there an angry lady saying your shift's over? No, not yet. She was trying to get me to take another case, but our shift's not over yet. Another hour and a half. Alright, let's see if we can find this other suspect. Elko Wisniewski? Female, 32, last seen wearing blue top, brown pants. And this will probably be our last case of the shift if we can get there in time. Where am I going? Let's go a little bit north. Jeep Guy says, yeah, they definitely need to fix, detain, and then check for IDs for active crimes. Yeah, exactly. I could see if I just walked up on somebody for suspicion.
Location reached.
Jeep
I'll
Guy.
start searching for the suspect.
But, if I'm in an active pursuit... Oh, I got another glitch here. I should be able to detain them with cuffs first. Alright, something's wrong. Hang on. Does anything else work? Alright, we've been streaming over 3 hours, and I think I'm starting to hit the memory leak wall in the game. I'm having some glitches now. That's the problem. Yeah, see, right now what I should be able to do is look at any suspect in what they call focus mode and get a suspicion on whether or not I think that's the person I'm looking for. But that's not working right now. And then, when I pulled out my taser before, it wouldn't work. So I got a glitch there as well. I can't even, right now I can't even aim my taser. Alright, so we're glitched. Let me try my actual sidearm, my pistol. Yeah, I can't aim it, I can't fire it. It's not working. What about radar? Just to see if anything's working. Yeah, I can't even aim my radar gun. Alright, so even if I find this person, I don't think I'd be able to make an arrest because the game is glitched right now. Whatever you want, Kojo. Yes, I'm still a barista. Yeah. No, I'm gonna call you caller. Because that's what you changed your name to. But no, I specifically was wondering were you still a barista, I guess. I told someone, welcome to Walmart, even though I work at Starbucks. Gotcha. Oh, I didn't know you worked at Starbucks, caller, to be honest. I knew you were a barista, but I didn't know it was specifically Starbucks. Alright, so I'll tell you what. A little bit further south. Let's look and see if we can get eyes on the suspect. Actually, our shift is done in 20 minutes, so we'll look for her. I don't think I'm going to actually see her. And I can't even focus on suspects right now. So I can't really say that we can sniff her out for sure. Although, if she takes off running like some of the other suspects did, you know, they just run as soon as they see you, then at least we get the satisfaction of knowing we saw her. But, yeah, I don't see her. Alright. We got less than 10 minutes. Let's head back to the precinct and get yelled at. Right. Actually, I don't know where the precinct is right now. So how was your night tonight, caller? Hope everything's, how was your week, caller? Yeah, on the map I don't get...
Your shift is over, officer.
I just talked it up. I don't get the location to my precinct...
Spotted close to your current location. Keep your eyes open, officer.
...until she tells me my shift is over, which is kind of annoying. Alright, which way do we go? Sorry, we want to go kind of west then south, alright. Or south then west. South then west, I guess. Week wasn't too bad. How about you? Pretty good, caller. Weather's getting better here. It hit the 80s this week here, or just about the 80s. Uh-oh, Jeep Guy doesn't have enough in his wallet. Yeah, Jeep Guy, if you put in Mojo in the command line, it'll tell you how much currency you have. And it'll whisper it to you. But while I'm thinking about it real quick... See if this still works. On that note, we add a little bonus mojo to everybody who's hanging out in stream tonight, because I really appreciate everybody spending time with me. So there you go, Jeep guy. I wasn't sure I remembered how to do the command because I haven't done it in so long.
Hiya.
Hi.
Officer. Can you help me, please?
Real quick, because I only have a minute left on shift, homie.
I'm looking for Natasha's. Can you show me where it's situated?
Ooh, I don't think
Sure.
I know Natasha's.
Right
I don't remember seeing Natasha's. I don't think I know that one. Natasha. Oh, there's a Natasha's. That's probably too far, though. Because they're usually looking for one that's kind of close. We'll try it.
That's unfortunate. I'll find someone who knows the safe guy.
Yeah, whatever. I tried. Alrighty. But yeah, Carl, the only reason I asked is because I was on Schnauzer Power stream earlier, and he was asking me, he said he heard something about there being kind of a freak snowstorm. And I told him it wasn't here. Or, you know, it was freakishly cold somewhere. But it wasn't here, so I didn't know if it was maybe where you are. Caller said, Ohio weather's been very odd. It's been very nice some days and cold the next. Okay. Yeah, it's been 70s and 80s here pretty much all week. So I shift over? Yes, it is. Jeep guy says, everyone's weather has been like 70, then 40, then back to 70. Okay. Vic says, sorry, I'm not Google Maps. Couldn't find the nearest Natasha's. Thanks, Vic. Yeah, no, I usually in this game, the way it works is especially when you're on foot patrol like we just did, when you walk past certain buildings like that, you get a little prompt that says you have discovered Natasha's, you know. And then it's permanently on your map. And then when, you know, pedestrians ask you for directions like that, you can find them. But Natasha's is not one of the chains I remember even seeing before. I never noticed that one before. So. Caller says, oh yeah, that was Minnesota, not here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Minnesota doesn't have summer until like July. So, yeah. Actually, you know what? I could have asked Spud Muffin that. I don't know. He's probably still not hanging out. It's getting kind of late. But I don't know if Spud Muffin saw snow there or not tonight. All right, so here's our shift summary. Looks clean to me. No negative conduct points. So yeah, so Jeep guy, I think to your point, I think you're right. I think
we've got new information. We've updated your map with the potential area where the suspect can be found.
Girl, my shift is over. I'm not looking for the suspect anymore. Calm your jets. I think she just likes trolling me. All right, but yeah, since we don't have any negative conduct points here tonight, I think that answers the question that we had earlier. Yeah, so here's the thing. Like, the guy we just ran down. So, I stunned him, but before handcuffing, I checked his ID to verify he was who we expected. And I validated that he had a warrant on him. I think that's the only thing that made that cuffing justified. But I think that's wrong. Matter of fact, I know that's wrong in terms of how U.S. police procedure works. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll drop a message on their forums in case somebody else hasn't already pointed that out. I'm sure somebody has by now. That, yeah, for my safety, I should be able to handcuff them to detain them before I verify their ID or anything else. So that's wrong. So, all right. So at least we know what the game expects us to do. It's just not realistic for what police officers should be really allowed to do. All right, but other than that, it was a pretty clean shift. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've done 4 shifts in the work week. We worked Monday through Thursday. Technically, I have to do 1 more shift to complete this work week. But I don't think we're going to do that tonight, ladies and gents, because the game was showing us some nice glitches there since we've been streaming for well over 3 hours, almost 4 at this point. And I'll be pushing my luck to actually try to get through another shift. So I got to keep it in my mind that at least in this state of the game, you can stream it for about 3 hours before you start seeing glitches. Because the same thing happened when we streamed it in March. I got to about close to 3 hours, and then we started seeing some glitches. Matter of fact, the game soft crashed on me. It froze back during our March stream, and I thought the game was going to completely crash, but it recovered just enough for me to finish the shift, even though our sound went away. So, yeah, so I think, you know, because this is still early access, I'm sure there's unpatched memory leaks and things, so what I probably should do is make a point to do like I do with some of the older pre-64-bit games that, you know, we play on stream sometime, that after 2 hours, if you're going to keep streaming, restart the game. So next time we stream this, I'm going to make a point to do that. Say around 2 hours or so, stop the game, restart it, and then keep going. All right, folks, but that's going to be it for me. Really appreciate everybody hanging out. Just want to say a couple thank yous real quick. So I want to thank, so we had resubs tonight from Silk Swift. She was here earlier. She went to bed a little bit early for her tonight. And Story Writer, both resubbed tonight. Appreciate that. We also had bits from Story Atha over and over again. And Miss Lovely Hannah as well. Also, we had a new follow from Darts Noob, who was, I think he got the word to follow me from a shout out earlier from Captain Andy B's stream. Did I forget anybody else? Yeah, so that's tonight's thank yous. Really appreciate that. Great screen. Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Really appreciate that, man. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you, Jeep Guy. Good night, Donna. All right, folks. Yeah, so I am kind of getting back into a little bit of a regular groove, I guess you could say. Streaming again, guys. We did stream all weekend last week. We had basically streams on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon. Last weekend, I am definitely streaming on Saturday, for those who are interested. I do not know yet what our plans are going to be for Sunday, but I am definitely streaming on Saturday 100%. We're going to try tomorrow to finish the game that we started on last Saturday, which is Lake, which I have nicknamed. Nicknamed American Postal Truck Simulator. So we're going to try to finish that stream tomorrow night. I appreciate everybody who joined last week, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow night for the conclusion of that. All right, folks. I'm just checking on our raid victims for tonight and make sure that we have and ads as usual. Little pre-roll ad. As soon as the pre-roll clears, we're going to check on tonight's raid victim. We preload the raid. Sorry, give me 1 second. Go say hi to our friend Dr. Bonham, who is playing some Elden Ring. All right, folks. So I was going to raid Noodles of Doodles, but she just raided Dr. Bonham, so we're going to raid Dr. Bonham. All right, folks. Everybody, thanks a lot for hanging out. Hopefully I see you on Saturday. Have a great Friday night. Peace.
squad.